Howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your GM this evening, and many others. And joining me are my friends Matt, Cara, Olive, and Ari. I just ate a piece of pizza upstairs so fast. Dan is also going to be joining us, just running about 15 minutes late. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. Give me 1 second here. All right. Your support makes all of this possible. We play a lot of different games, a lot of different anthologies, regular campaigns, one-shots, and all of that is because of, or a lot of the cool little effects, like the things that you're seeing on your battlefield here on the battle cam. It's thanks to subscriptions and things like that on YouTube. We have a Patreon with behind-the-scenes content as well. They were actually this weekend going to be playing the very first Alberon After Dark one-shot, and that is available to Patreon subscribers only. That is going to be a fun visit to a town where a church has become so good that they threaten to impede upon the Hell's Turf. And the Hells have dispatched avatars of the 7 deadly sins to correct this problem. That is going to be played on Saturday, and then sometime shortly thereafter, I have to find my flash drive that I move all those episodes around in. But shortly thereafter, over on Patreon at AlberonRPG. Tomorrow, you can join us for our original D&D campaign, which is Courts of Everest, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our party has ushered in a brand new era.
It's great. A new era of absolutely nothing. A joint decision was made.
A joint decision was made.
A joint decision was made.
A joint action.
A single action was taken. And to find out what that is, you can go see last week's session on YouTube. But tomorrow you can join us as the times of turmoil begin. And then...
Oh, that's the name of your new era?
Yeah, it's a pretty good start to the era.
Just the times.
Just the times.
Not the era.
It's not an era yet.
It's not an
Depending
age.
on how we do in the times, it could become the era.
It's like Pokemon, it just evolves.
Yeah.
So, not a sponsor. We also have a number of other cool things coming up on the weekends, aside from our regular campaign. You can find out more about those, as there is now, if you are on a browser, I believe, a schedule widget underneath us. You can see a live weekly schedule that includes things like, you'll notice, Vincent's birthday. Also things like the Deadly Sins game recording on Saturday. Excuse me.
Sounded like you said Deadly Zins.
No, Deadly
Not
Sins.
a sponsor.
Deadly Zins. What is that?
It's
not a
Crawler
sponsor.
Yeah, the Zing Crawler. Yeah.
Aside from all of that, we have Monument Studios music, in addition to Sirenscape to thank for the sound. This is actually a Monument Studios sound right now. And so that is all the announcements that I have for this week. It is time, there's Susan, for this week's session of Mosaic Team 5. And to you, Cara, for the recap.
Great. Mosaic Team 5. When last we played. So sorry. Mosaic Team 5, when last we played, we were about to be discovered by drug-running mutants as we investigated a secret space. In this already secret space, below the concrete jungle. Echo attempted to get a look at the drug-running mutants in the room ahead, rolled very poorly, and made direct eye contact with one of them. But it's okay. They asked Echo if they have the fats, and Echo just said, fats! And then proceeded to knife the guy in the dark. After stashing the body in the corner, we managed to quietly Scooby-Doo sneak our way past the other drug-running mutants, and absolutely nothing went wrong as we got 20 feet ahead of the hallway before realizing that Spice had gotten sidetracked by a tray of...
Drugs.
Yes, expensive and potentially interesting, depending on your proclivities.
Some were just straight like gasoline.
She attempted to bluff her way to the tray, walking, sauntering, cockily over to one of the drug runners. However, failed to use a psychokinetic hand to pull and hide the tray away, and thus we were off to combat with guys who turned out to be weenies, and we obliterated them.
Very
But not without destroying almost the whole tray of drugs, and 2 cargo containers full of drugs as well.
Intentionally.
Sometimes. Bubs was able to obliterate one with his hammer, and Echo melted another with their acid rifle. Spice, however, was able to sneak off with a single drug, but a treasure of one, worth over 50k. The next chamber is filled with more sludge and ooze, and Bubs realized that the movements are in tune with the sounds of musical, deep-throated chanting. I regret saying that phrase.
I could hear you take a deep breath, and I was like, you're regretting something right now.
Yep. That sounded better in my head when I wrote that. Yep. Gibbs sensed the presence of intelligence, and possibly Gaia's mutagen, and threw meat pucks as an offering. Bubs also realized that it liked them and threw more. The remaining team tried to follow after Bubs and Gibbs. However, without meat pucks, they had difficulty. And with some extra offerings in the form of nutrient cubes, some trash, and hand lotion, we barely made it through. The final chamber we entered was very large, with pillars floating in the ooze and a group of sludgies near a locked metal door. The voices seemed to be coming from that direction. Geysers of sludge blast into the air in response to the chants, and we hear in between the blasts a whisper voice say, "So says the voice in the drain." Bubs tried to record the voices in case they were actually keeping the sludge under control, and when Echo rushed forward to start an ambush, instead made direct eye contact once again with their target, and the priest of the voice of the drain initiated combat. The recording didn't have the same level of quality and thus had no effect on the field, but Spice's encephalon did have quite an effect on the field, as it took over her for the entire combat.
I had fun.
Shade used his rune plates to burn away layers of health, while Echo tried to keep the weenies busy, but succumbed to their rotting touch. Gibbs and Bubs rushed to their aid, with Bubs providing battlefield control, effectively obliterating the weenies, and Gibbs shot a gun successfully. Spice and Gibbs then helped Echo afterwards with their, issues. And we all discovered that the door was locked by a science logic trap. To which a solution is apparently a famous rapper.
X did give it to us.
After creating an inert solution that would allow us to pass through the hallway to the next space, we continued forward to discover what seems to be a manufacturing zone with a very familiar, yet now highly mutated and still hot.
Is he still hot? Is he
Like
just
physically
still
hot, and like there's steam coming off of it.
Anyway, we see Bastion, and that's where we're starting our session.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everything was throwing me off there.
He's bubbling.
For all of you, having just crossed through this space, the Cistern of Change, which had a steady stream of chemicals being fed to it that you were able to very successfully pass through without melting your skin off or turning your bones into rubber or potentially even irradiating some of your organs without damaging others. You look beyond you at this industrial zone. You are all standing. Oh, let me pull up our battle cam here. Exactly sort of in that kind of area where you are. It is not a 5-foot wide door. It is a 15-foot wide space that just opens out beyond. And so you are not bottlenecked there. You can see out beyond there are elements of what look like a shipping crate sort of storage area. There are tons of containers, scattered about, but spaced in such a way to provide a very clear avenue straight forward, where there is a space between some chain link fences that would lead further into a series of buildings. You can see within these buildings and kind of arming these almost ramparts that are sort of separating the structures and you, there are a number of sludgies, 2 of which are larger sort of variants that you have seen elsewhere. Correct. The other ones all seem like these smaller, yet still rotting touch-enabled creatures that you have fought before. And then you can see standing in the center of the space, right near that pump, the only one amongst a field of 3 rows that stretch out at least 1,000 feet. Just wrecked pump after wrecked pump after wrecked pump. This is the only one that seems to be functioning. You can see it steadily kind of rising and falling and rising and falling. And there are a number of things that have been attached to it that seem to be powering or otherwise enabling it to process sludge. You can see large pipes that are the color of bronze that kind of snake out and away from the mesa that this pump is enabled to, that sink down into the ground itself. Yes.
Oh, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Is Bastion the one on the left?
Bastion is the same mini he was all
The
the way
shiny
back in
golden
Orange
boy.
Bay. However, he is not as hot as he was before.
Ooh.
You see bleached
That's,
blonde hair. You see
subjective.
lilac eyes. You see ripped abs, but that is all that remains. Vestiges of the once deadly handsome Bastion.
What?
You see the rest of him is a twisting, changing amalgamation of flesh and fur and scales. They kind of shift and move, and all at once they kind of become black and dark and seem to become almost decay, and then kind of revert and become new. And it shifts and changes in such a way that almost makes it look like he's wearing a living thing on top of him. He is not as handsome as he once was. But there is a confidence to him for sure, and you can see in this moment,
Who is this baddie over here?
A baddie.
just a baddie,
Just a regular
Random.
slushy one.
just a regular
Random
sludge
sludge man.
Every old day.
Does he also have hot abs like the mini does?
Sure.
Nice. Okay.
I mean, next to Bastion, he's like a 4.
Yeah, next to Bastion,
Yeah.
just, beer gut. But for most people, yes. So you can see Bastion, these lilac eyes look up, and they regard all of you. You have been spotted.
All right.
What are you doing?
Hello, old friend. Good to see you.
Well, if we've been spotted, there's no sense in trying to sneak, right?
Yeah, can we just walk up?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I
Bubs
would
will-
start walking,
Dubs will walk up.
knowing that. Knowing that. Well, I would
You
be.
step forward, kind of approaching, and you can see all across these ramparts, these individuals turn. You can see this gross, rotting magic begin to coalesce around their hands. They're ready for you. You can hear these kind of sounds. But then from the center, there is this motion, and you can see an arm or a tendril or some protuberance from Bastion moves up as if a hand stopping this army, and it gets very quiet.
Bastion.
And Bubbles, can you make a will saving throw, please?
Yeah.
As you feel your shin pass through an element of filament,
Guess
and a mist just expands in your face.
I was looking for
I moved
traps.
up as well.
Gibbs, can you make a will saving
Yeah.
throw as well, please?
That is caught, I think.
I probably would have seen that trap as it was getting triggered.
You are, as it's happening, you're like,
Okay.
wait, and then it just straight up.
Only slightly
23.
better.
That is a success.
Right.
Nice.
Oh, that's it. 14 plus. One second.
Ooh,
Will.
will save.
Who? Bubby's got a strong will. He's a strong-willed boy.
Sorry, this is the one thing I forgot.
You got Math Finder going on.
Enjoy.
It's Internet Loading Finder right now.
Ah, yes, we do have that. As this mist erupts across you, Bubbles, there is a feeling as if it is clawing into your nose, into your mouth, and though you can't smell, you imagine this smells acrid.
That smells acrid.
Oh, it's doing that thing.
And this is the argument for paper stat, what's it called? Character sheets.
Yeah, look how fast I was. Look
Yeah.
at me, my paper
At
stat.
one point, I was gonna put a thing on the side for my
I got the
stats.
backup.
I do have a backup actually. that's on my hard drive.
So
Is it
what
with
did you
you?
roll on the dice?
14.
A 14.
So it's a 14.
I'm going to guess that you probably do not pass, which is unfortunate.
Okay.
In this moment, Bubbles, there is this spray of mist that erupts in your face. It goes into your nose, into your throat. It is caustic. It is kind of acidic, though you do not smell anything. It is an unpleasant feeling on the inside of your nose. And Bubbles, as time slows down a little bit for you, you see the image of the people that you know as allies blur and become double. And you imagine that you have a much higher % chance of missing. And at that same time, Bubbles, you begin to feel a little confused.
Oh no.
You imagine you'll be confused for 2 rounds.
Oh no!
And in this moment, as this happens, up above, you finally hear the voice of Bastion as he says, "Well, hello, little ants." And I need everybody to roll for initiative.
We need a model
Oh,
now.
why this is not working? Okay, here we go. Finally, Jesus Christ.
I do have a section on Patreon that
12.
is.
26 total.
26 total.
Well, you still
26
failed.
total. That is a success.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry, I don't know why
That's
I kept.
good. It's okay, that's
I
okay.
kept reloading the site
Still a
over and
success.
over. It just wouldn't.
So
it
that
wouldn't work.
clears you are not confused by the psychoactive mist projector, but you are plunged into initiative at the very least. So go ahead, roll for initiative.
I wanted to say 18.
Okay. Anybody natural 20?
18 plus 1.
Okay.
He did.
22.
22. Well, 30 to 25.
Oh my god.
All right. So 22 for Bubbles.
First.
Anybody 25 to 20?
20.
21.
22 for Bubbles.
Wow, Bubby is
One
first.
for Echo. No, he is not.
Oh no.
no.
And
Bubbles
then
is first of
20
us.
for Shave. That is fair. Gibbs, what about you?
18!
18 for that.
Yeah,
You're
like-
making me rewrite my order.
Yeah, you were gonna put me at the bottom, but I rolled well. It's just y'all rolled better.
18 for
I didn't even roll that
Gibbs.
well.
I rolled a 16 plus 2.
Okay.
I'm killing
The
it.
lowest initiative in this order,
Is Spice at number 10?
Spice at 10. That's still not really that bad.
Yeah.
It is starting with Bastion at 26, then the Greater Sludgies at 24, then Bubbles at 22, Echo at 21, Shade at 20, Gibbs at 18, the Sludgies at 15, and then Spice at a very mortal 10. So that is initiative. Let me just change this music.
So every time you hit him, you have to ask him a question. So we get plot. I want plot.
And
Plot, plot, plot,
I feel like I know what he's doing.
Why are you doing this?
I feel like I know why you're doing this already.
I don't. Ask
wanna
him.
know.
Yeah.
He kind of explained his
He's
motives.
making an army.
Who?
So
He's
He's
making
not
Oh,
an
he
back
did.
ours,
At,
we
yeah, ours.
are
Right.
starting off with Bastion. So Bastion, with Bubbles and the Psychoactive Mist, will go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55.
Does he just jump
Oh
down?
no, he's
Yep,
stuck.
he's just going to jump down and really, like, you see, manages to almost run along the edge of this fence. He moves in a way that is not dissimilar to the way that Echo can move in certain ways. And you would imagine they can move as if they have a climbing speed. They end up almost directly in front of you, Bubbles, crossing this space. I would say, given the sort of battle sense that you have, they take a very particular path over to you. You don't trace it, but you get the sense that there are other traps in this space. But they cross the distance and they end up about 15 feet away from you. And they are a little too far to do their best thing, but they plunge their fist into their chest and rip out this gleaming element of machinery. You can see it looks almost like a shotgun, though it has tanks of petrol that have been connected to it. He cocks this and he fires this at you. Bubbles.
Oh yeah.
He's going to hit you with a scorch gun. That is going to be a 44 to hit.
Oh yeah. That's it.
Right. With a 44.
Is that a projectile or fire?
This is going to be fire.
Yeah.
This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is going to be 26 points of fire damage.
6 minus
And-
5 is 21. 26? You said?
26, yeah.
All right.
Do me a favor. As this strikes into you, you see a gleam in their eye as a mote of entropy appears behind them and all at once just winks out of existence. Can you
Not
make
entropy.
a will saving throw, please?
That's a 2.
That's an
plus 12. 14.
As this fire across you, you have to raise your arms up and you can feel the intensity of this heat almost fuses your bone into the elements of your armor. You cannot move, and for just a moment, it's like the flames are always going to be going over you, and you are stunned for the next round.
Oh my god.
So that is all that Bastion can do at that distance. That is going to bring us to the greater sludgies. All right.
Oh no.
They are going to climb up here, get a little better vantage point. Okay. And then he will get
Save
up
me,
here
team,
behind
save
cover.
me.
I'm right there next to you.
All right, Bubbles. So, the two greater sludgies are going to close in from these two different sides. And they got nothing to lose and a lot to gain. You are within 250 feet. Can I see that template, please?
Yep.
Oh no.
There's a
4 shots. I think they have
Can't get my
rocket
nails
launchers
around
of
it.
some kind.
Dear
Based
God, I
on the
hope not.
mini.
in an underground cave. I don't know.
Okay, so
Maybe it's
I can
just a
do
mini. Because
one,
those are Fallout minis, so maybe it's
two.
okay.
and
Alright, I
then
can't pick this up.
just put another one over there for no reason.
Monsters.
So
Yeah, it's weird.
The hardest DC of the night.
Yeah, it's just like I can't.
you can see first the one over on the left-hand side raises their hands up and they become almost a window pane of flesh. You can see their face through it, and then arcane symbols begin to just coalesce in the veins, and then there is an explosion outwards. You can see there are these 3 bolts of arcane energy that ricochet around. One will strike straight at your feet, Bubbles. It will explode out in a 15-foot circle around you, which I believe
That defo gives.
Yeah.
to get Gibbs. And then the other one will streak into the actual corridor itself, hitting Shade directly, the only person he can see.
Damn.
That will be big enough to hit Echo and Spice as well.
Damn.
For all of you,
What's the damage?
can you please make a reflex saving throw?
Do I get a little bit
Do
of
I even
cover?
make those if I'm stunned?
I would say Gibbs. Are you behind that metal
I
thing?
am.
Yeah.
I would say you do get half cover. I would say for everybody else in that space, you get a quarter cover
So it's +2.
plus 2.
It just says you can't take
Can I get
actions and you're
cover from-
flat-footed.
Okay.
Can I
you
get
grab
cover
everything
from
you
the
want?
androids in front of me?
No.
Damn it.
30.
Oh, I will.
15. What am I?
Reflex save.
15 plus 8. That's not a good one.
19?
3.
23.
Spice.
25.
18? But cover?
Everybody who is below a 21, which is, I believe, Echo and Gibbs, you fail. Everybody else is only taking half of this damage.
Damn.
It's fair. So.
Already
As
so low.
these explosions of arcane energy just ricochet around, there is 35 points of fire damage to Echo and to Gibbs,
Okay.
which is halved to 17 points of fire damage to the other 3 of you.
I can't hear that. Can you say that again?
17 to you.
Okay, thank you.
That is that first greater sludgy. The second one stretches their skin out, and you see the arcane elements form again, and they fire. This time centering the second of these bolts over on Echo. Can everybody make a reflex saving throw, please?
Another one?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, everybody.
Similar shots.
Oh, not better.
Oh, good.
Not good.
Say it now.
15.
So, 15, that is a failure.
12.
16.
That is a failure. That is a failure.
23.
That is a success.
29.
Yay!
Echo and Gibbs. Echo, with you having already been kind of rolled over with this flame, fool you once, shame on you, but you are not going to be fooled again. You leap into the side. This is going to be 29 points of fire damage to Bubbles, Shade, and Spice, and then only half, which is 14 points of fire damage, to
Gibbs.
Gives
Echo and Gibbs.
0 for Echo.
0 for Echo. As an operative, you just
Evasion.
leap to the side, and you are too evasive for this spell. But those are the 2 greater sludgies who fire off these elements of arcane attacks against you. That is all that they can do, and that is going to bring us to Bubble. Shade, or Echo, you are on deck.
If I'm stunned, can I still talk?
I would say you can stammer.
Oh.
How's that different from normal?
You can't you can't monologue, but you could say something.
Okay. Bastion. We're not ants. That's all. Yeah. I
Okay.
think that's all you said.
Definitely not.
No problem. You say that. Bastion is only like 10 feet away from you, and he smiles and says, "From the ants' point of view, they never are."
Nice.
That is all that you are doing, Bubbles.
That's all I can
That brings
do.
us to
Unless I can
Echo,
do
but
anything.
the stunned condition ends at the end of your
Yeah, I
turn.
don't think I can do anything.
Echo, what would you like to do? Shade, you are on deck.
Echo just kind of like does a quick direct to Captain. Focus fire or spread the damage.
Cut off the head.
And Echo decides to. Yeah, that's a good thing. Echo wants to go this way, hopefully looking for the spray trap.
Okay, so you go off in that direction. You can see Bubbles has triggered that trap, but as an action, are you making a perception check to
I guess
perceive
not.
traps? Okay.
Echo will like strafe along here,
Okay.
and then try to come up from up behind.
You strafe along there. You attempt to come up from behind.
Traps. 6.
Go ahead and make
okay.
your roll.
All right. And as they do, they're gonna use stealth.
Thought it was gonna be like psych.
I was worried there was gonna be like a psych aspect to it. Yes.
I mean,
There's
What's
still
18
always
plus
a
25?
chance.
Say it one more time.
18 plus 25.
18 plus
Oh, I can
25.
do that.
Yes, that will be a hit.
It's like a
believe it or
43.
not.
No, that's the trick attack.
Oh, the trick attack. 18
20
plus
20 plus CR.
43.
43?
Yep.
That is a success.
Okay. Damn. Less good. Much less good. That's a solid 21, boss.
A solid 21. A 21 is going to be a miss, unfortunately.
Damn.
And they quickly are able to leap aside. You are unable to touch them. You are unable to get your hands on them in any way, shape, or form.
Damn.
Anything else?
Nope, that was it. That's
Oh
the
no,
full
they're
action.
greasy.
As a reaction, I don't have enough enter points. Never mind. Okay, that is your turn, Echo. That brings us to Shade. Gibbs, you're on deck.
All right. I'm gonna jump jets right up into his business.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I need to. Was it 3 rounds of combat last week or was it 4?
4.
4. Okay, so then I have 3 more rounds of fire. Okay. I'm going to use my exocortex to combat track him.
Okay.
And I can do it to others, so I guess I'll put it on this guy for now, too.
Okay.
The one that...
So you have Bastion and that larger sludgy off to the side.
and then I'm going to make a... Yeah, I'm going to make a slashing attack with my sword. That's going to be a 38 to hit.
38 is a hit.
Nice. 24 points of slashing damage.
24 points of slashing damage. Very nice. Anything else?
That is it for me.
Okay, so as Bastion says, they never are from the perspective of ants. Bubbles, you can see Shade just right behind and slashes out with this carbon blade. It goes across Bastion and you can see the wound almost instantly just seals shut. But they do take the damage. Anything else, Shade?
I believe that's it.
Alrighty.
And it's a standard action. Yeah.
That brings us to Gibbs. Then the sludgies are on deck.
Okay. Are the guns that the big guys are wielding like just guns that they're holding, or
Those are for the miniatures. They're not holding guns.
so
These were magical spells that cause these explosions.
okay? What is the weight of these big guns?
Big arms.
How much do they weigh?
A lot.
Do they weigh more?
Would
than...
you like to make a life sciences check as an action to find out how much they weigh? Because you don't just know.
But do I know if it's less than 400 pounds?
It's probably pretty close.
Okay. Then I will.
It's a lot of water weight.
I will wisp ally Bastion.
Okay.
And I will do. Of the 2, I think one's harrying fire, which gives everyone a +2, or gives the next person a +2.
Okay, so you hawk this loogie over at Bastion as the wound seals. You aim for it and you just miss, but this element just kind of crawls across him and gunks into the scales that you can see.
Bastion! We could have been friends! We could have helped you! Could have is the word there. That gives
Maybe. Honestly, he did have a cool...
Where are you right now? You're behind that little
Yeah,
fence?
I just like hop up, cast my spell, hawk my loogie, say my words, pop down.
His eyes will glance over at you. You can see these motes of lilac just sort of burn in this space. And he does say, "You, perhaps, but the rest of these were doomed to die." And they lock their eyes over on you, Bubbles. But that is your turn, Gibbs.
Yes.
All right. That brings us to the sludgies.
You seem so nice.
So
He was always an asshole.
if Spice doesn't attack Bastion, Bugs, every round you get a +2 to hit Bastion.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but only Bastion and only you. Or only the next person.
Hell yeah.
If Spice hits him, then she gets it.
I don't hit, so
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have
No
to
worries.
declare it to me, or can you declare it to someone else?
Whoever is the next person to hit Bastion from my turn. So if you don't use it, then it goes to Echo.
It's like,
Okay, yeah.
it's like a help action.
Okay, if
Yeah.
I don't use it, that works good.
Yeah.
Because I can...
It's just because of the way that turn works, it's likely
Yeah.
to be you, but
No, I like that if you don't use it, you lose it. 40-year-old virgin kind of thing.
no.
What? You never seen that movie?
Wait. Yes, I have, but...
I don't remember that aspect.
What?
If you don't use it, you lose it. Steve
Yeah.
Carell asked it about sexual encounters. He goes, "Is it true if you don't use it, you lose it?"
Oh, yeah. Okay, I
Oh.
do remember that
That
now.
was a very specific call.
It was.
I did
It
not
was.
get.
That
top quote of the
movie.
movie.
There is some lore to that movie that is quite fascinating, actually. But okay, so they're going to turn over, take a look over at you, and with their abilities, oh boy. So
They're all gonna hop down and come close to us. Right?
Shade and Bubbles. You see Shade right at your feet. There are two little cracks that begin to form in the elements of the steel here. They twist and squeal, and you see bolts kind of fly out as elements of the deck itself become superheated. And then there is a crack as a fissure forms from the beginnings of where you stand, Shade, all the way back past where Bubbles is and right to the entrance, cutting off where Spice would be. A caustic fissure erupts in that space, and then a second caustic fissure erupts in that space, and all the rest of the sludgies who are active, all four of them, are going to utilize Bolster's spell to increase the power of this.
Damn.
Is this?
And so this, though it can only be cast at second level by the sludgies, is upcast several times.
Is this the sludgies doing it, or is
It
this?
is.
Oh, okay.
The sludgies, this is going to be a 60-foot long line of caustic energy that opens up, and then this 30-foot high erupting caustic flame.
Do you like where I put that?
Yes, perfect. Oh, that's so beautiful. Shade and Bubbles, can the two of you please make reflex saving throws?
Yeah, I guess. Nice. That's a 33.
12 plus 8, 20. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20 is a failure. And so, Bubbles, you are taking 36 points of acid damage. Shade, you are only taking half of that, which
36?
is 18. 36. These fissures erupt and continue to bubble and just hiss. And you would imagine if you are going to end your turn in that space or move into it in the first time, you will take more damage.
Where is the...
That orange...
The orange?
Orange
Okay.
line, yeah.
So
If I start
that
my turn
is-
into it?
If you
end your turn.
End my
end your turn or
Got it.
move into it for the first time.
Got it.
So that is all the sludgies as they bolster their allies' spells. That does bring us to you, Spice.
Okay.
And then to the top of the round.
Spice is going to saunter up, hearing
Through the fissure.
through the fissure. Yeah.
That is
What
there.
Joe
That's
just said.
60 feet.
The caustic fissure.
That is gonna fuck your day up.
Nope. Not gonna
You can jump it.
I mean, yeah, like, but it's 30 feet
It's 30
high.
feet high.
Oh.
You can tell.
And Spice has
Still
no.
a flame, but like shittier.
I don't want to use the teleport for
What
that.
you doing? You can just run straight through.
I want to make.
Say that.
Don't you have to roll for the...
Oh, yeah. Thank you, my guy. All right.
Yeah, you might not get a choice.
Yeah.
We'll
You might
see.
just run straight
Honestly, I
into
feel
it.
like this cephalopod will make a better choice here.
I know, yeah. So Spice's heart rate starts
It's
to go
got
up
better
once she
judgment in this
starts to
situation. It's
hear,
like, we shouldn't run through
Bastion's
this.
voice. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Look at the glee on Joe's face.
I fail.
Roll a d100.
Oh
Let's
my
see what you do.
Oh my god.
Glee!
In this moment,
Guys,
for the
we were
third
like-
time in a row, Spice, this creature goes, not on my watch. It just
51.
goes down over your eyes.
I feel like we
Oh
need,
my
And in this moment,
we need to exercise this.
you look at, what are you holding in your hands?
Nothing. She
Nothing?
doesn't have anything.
Look
Oh,
at your
wait, what did
hands.
she? No, I feel like she would have. The grain of sand. She's not holding the grain of sand. She would have pocketed it. So nothing.
Nothing, no problem. You are holding this in your hands and you just kind of look around, and in this moment, as this thing has just oozed over, you fight against it. This is an important time for your party, for your allies who are going up against this old foe, and you're not sure what to think of him, and you know there's a lot of drugs here, and there's a lot going on, and you get overwhelmed, and you just punch yourself in the face. You roll a d8, please.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, well, there goes one. Fortunately, I have more. 6.
So add your strength modifier to that, and you take that much damage, as for your turn, you just punch yourself in the face.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is your turn, Spice.
Oh,
Thank
wait.
you so
I
much.
also
rounds
need
is
to.
it last?
Yeah, how many rounds? Let's roll that d4.
Please say the only
I
round.
don't have a d4. Does somebody else have a d4? Alright.
Sorry.
A
I
p1.
don't care.
2 rounds!
There you go. Okay, a
only
little
one
shorter
more.
than last time. This little squid on your head is already kind of.
Hey.
It doesn't have
She's
lungs,
been
but it's
working
painted.
hard
Yeah,
today.
she's been putting in the work.
Yeah.
She started as a level 1, now she's like level 13.
Yeah.
But no problem. That is your turn, Spice. That brings us to the top of the round.
Damn,
and
I had
to
stuff I
Bash.
wanted to do that turn.
Bastion, more like Astion.
Echo's looking at it, yeah.
So Bastion will provoke an attack of opportunity from Echo,
Sure.
move around, and then take this spot right
Ruh-roh.
here between Shade and you.
Dang.
Does a 27 do anything?
Nope.
Didn't think
With
so.
the 27, you whip this weapon out from the hidden compartment, and they are already gone, just vanishing from this space,
I just like this.
almost apparating and reappearing in a way that feels almost magical. But they are just right between you, Bubbles, and you,
Does that mean I
Shade.
took the West Ally +2? Kids?
Whisper.
No, it doesn't.
Reaction attack? I think
oh.
it does.
Yeah, it's the next thing.
Does
So you can
29 do anything?
Does
Hey!
a 29 do anything? It does not.
Damn it!
And so,
I have it.
unfortunate.
Can I stack with Valley?
I don't think so.
DM, can we just stack?
You cannot stack with
Dang
spell.
it.
So,
Plus
I
8
need
Wisp
the
ally.
I spent all my first level
Then I
spell slots.
play another pot of greed.
Flies.
he is going to float 15 feet up.
No!
Does that
he
mean that
flies.
you
I thought you meant he
don't-
turned into flies.
So wait,
That's
we get an
also what
attack
I
of
was imagining.
opportunity.
I was like,
We'll get an
okay.
attack of opportunity.
Okay, cool.
Bubs can't take one.
You can't. Oh, because your reaction.
He's stunned.
And his weapons unwieldy anyway.
Yeah, I can't do this.
20. I don't
Leave
get a
the
wisp
polish.
ally, right?
No,
I feel like
sorry.
that's cheap.
Oh,
I
that's right. He
don't, I
has to
don't,
put it down.
is
You have to put it
a-
down.
I still feel like that's
I
cheap.
believe
I won't
it's
do that.
28.
I mean, it is if you have captain.
28? 28 is a success.
Yeah, it's cheesy. I don't want to do that.
So,
Spice could punch.
oh, sorry, that was to
Spice
hit.
punches
Sorry.
first.
That
Yeah.
was not a save.
I punched
20
myself
is a
twice
miss.
in the past 6
As you
minutes.
swing, you are almost able to hit, but as they rocket up, you can see 15 feet in the air. The air around them grows dark, and it is like the light and the sort of essence that is positive energy suffuses from that into them. They vacuum it from this plane of existence into their own body, and you feel this well of entropy just rise up inside of them, and then there is an explosion of force that ricochets out 20 feet.
Damn.
Oh no, I'm in there.
That's
20 feet.
everybody
I
except Spice.
believe- Yeah, everybody but Spice.
Did he just supernova
I
us?
think you did.
Can everybody please
Is
make
he
reflex saving throws?
Oh my god, fucking cool.
Do I get cover from the 30-foot wall of
Uh,
flames?
Damn
you
it!
do not.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ah.
I don't have to, right? I'm out of range.
17.
Spice, you were the only one out of
plus
range.
8 is 25.
Is this will or what? Reflex?
That is 25.
Yes.
Give me 1 sec. That's close. That's close.
Please, Joe. Please show, please show, please show. Please
You
show.
said 25?
Please show, please show, please show.
You said 25?
Please show,
25.
please show.
That is a success.
Ah!
So,
23.
23 is a failure.
Oh,
And
at
so
least I
that gives
wasn't
you
one away. I
that
got
gives
20.
you a nice little deal. So you fail.
34.
34. That is a success. So this side of the table succeeds. This side of the table fails.
Deja vu.
For those of you who fail, you are taking 48 points
Oh my god, I'm down.
Damn.
of bludgeoning damage, and your down body Echo is entangled. Gibbs, you are entangled as this explosion of arcane energy of negative force suddenly hardens and becomes deadened tendrils of wood that just kind of constrict around your ankles, around your wrists, and every time that you break away from them, they kind of continue to grow around you. You, Gibbs,
Bad.
and Echo, your bodies are entangled for 2 rounds.
Cool.
That's what a strength.
And
is.
You move at half speed, you cannot run or charge, and you take a -2 penalty to AC attack rolls, reflex saves, initiative checks, and dex-based skills. And
It's actually a little bit worse than that because you are entangled as though opposed by an opposite force. You and Echo being entangled together causes the strands to almost pull against each other as you move.
Damn.
Oh, so if
Groot halted.
It's just because there's more than one person in it.
so if we move, does that mean we? Oh, we don't
If
know.
you die all the way, technically, Gibbs is no longer
we're
struggling
not gonna
against an
let
opposite
All right,
force.
I will try real
So,
hard to die all the way for you.
That is their full action, however, to use that ability. That is going to bring us to the Greater Sludgies.
Oh.
So, Echo goes
It's gonna
down
be our
and is
turn soon.
entangled.
Then we'll
They do not have
show them.
anything that will cause them to need to direct against that. So,
I think we might TPK here.
No.
If one of us dies, we all die, right, guys?
That's how
No.
it works, right?
Yeah.
I have not made a suicide pact with anybody.
I definitely.
I know someone who
I heard
has.
Suzette pack, and I was like,
It was a soft suicide
Crepes?
pact. It wasn't like a hard suicide pact.
It sounded pretty fucking serious when it happened.
It was like things to say after dinner, you know,
yeah,
like
but
you
now
feel
they're
when you
broken
don't
up.
really
Does
mean
it
it.
still hold?
Imagine if it
Only
did.
time will
so
tell.
the one on the left-hand side is just
I died. You're gonna do it.
moving as fast as they can to try to flank around you. They jump down, kind of stumble, and have to carry themselves over. You can see as their legs hit, it almost melts like a wave and carries them across the floor as they full action move in that direction. The other one simply clambers down, just kind of hand over tentacle, hits the ground wetly, and then turns and throws a hand out, this finger detaching and flinging across the
Ew.
space, aiming over at you, Shade. And Shade, can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Fucking yeah.
Oh, it's
Oh, natural 20.
With that natural 20, you take 20 points of acid damage halved to 10, and you are not sickened. You are able to easily shrug off this infection of your blood. You don't even have a lot of it, and so you just reject that right away. That is the Greater Sludgy who is able to do anything. That is all of the Greater Sludgies. That brings us to Bubble, and then Echo's round up.
It's mostly hydraulic fluid and
Echo.
coolant.
No, Bubbles and then Echo is on.
okay.
Okay.
I was just like, wait.
I'm up?
Yeah.
Okay. Bubs will shake off his stun and pick himself up and do like an anime arm on the ground, jump with his jetpack to meet Bastion in the air.
Sure.
And Bubs will basically be like, even your brother Pronto, hell, even humankind, we aren't ants. You want to reclaim the planet, but this isn't the way to do it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to activate the bubble and bonus action Wrathful Warrior, and I'm going to do triple attacks on him.
Nice.
Go for it.
The shit out of them.
What is 1d10 plus whatever. First one is a natural 20.
Oh my god!
Very nice. Go
Oh.
ahead and roll
Punch
damage
the
on that.
shit
That's a
out of
hit.
them.
Oh wait, hold on. I have to look up how much damage it is because I didn't
Because
write
it's
that down.
Wrathful Warrior.
That's
No,
pretty
I
good.
forgot. I erased it real quick.
Mm.
What is it? 5d10 plus 30.
Damn. That is potentially a lot of damage.
Pathfinder.
This is gonna give him a ton of entropy, though.
Wait,
I don't like
sorry?
that.
Well, because equal and opposite reaction.
That one fell off.
Oh,
Right, it
shit.
feels a Solarian.
Okay. That's a 9.
Laws.
Okay.
Is that a 6 or a 9? That's a 6.
9 plus 6 plus...
15 plus 5 is 20. Plus 2 is 22. Plus 7 is 29.
Yep.
Then it's doubled to
to
48.
58.
58, yeah.
And then you add 30.
Whoa. 88 points of damage.
88 points of damage. Very nice.
Nice.
You slam into Bastion, and already
No, it's not like good.
they're looking a little hurt.
That's like 30
Bubbles, you rise up into this
The whole
space
combat.
and you hit them right as they unleash this explosion of arcane energy. There's this moment where you can see their flesh almost separates away, and underneath the elements of this toxic mutation, you see for just a moment this kind of pink baby skin of Bastion. You can see they are kind of wrapped amongst these elements, and you just hit right where they are most vulnerable, and you rip into them. A solar plexus. Bubbles, that hurts them a good deal. And as you do that, they turn and they regard you with a different kind of look, but they don't respond right away. Anything else, Bubbles?
My
Maybe
2
I
more
did
attacks.
miss my opportunity.
The Bobby dice.
That's a 6.
Okay,
Close
get it away
enough.
from there.
Okay.
That's too close.
Close enough for how much?
It will be 5d10, so it will just be 5 plus 30, so 35.
There you go.
Also, I forgot to add 6 damage last time because an ally was hit.
There you go.
And plus my frenzy, so add 12 to the last damage. Also, and then for this one, we can just add the charges. Yeah.
that was
35,
100 points
40,
of damage.
40.
Even last
40.
hit.
Yeah.
No, this was actually
charges only works once.
154 points of damage.
Yeah,
in
the
total.
last round would have
That's
been 100
wild.
flat,
And now he's got
and then
another
he just
attack.
got another
Oh, Melora.
fucking
Oh my
It's a
god.
19.
Big
Oh my
boy,
God!
Bubby.
I'm not going to close enough.
because that's like a
Because you can hit, right?
Yeah,
38 or
hopefully.
something.
Yeah, that's
right?
like a-
38 will
40
hit.
something.
Oh, no, it's 12 plus 19. That's
31.
Yeah, it's 31.
31.
Against.
When is it
Either way, I'm gonna close enough it. So, but
Hammer.
Well-
it's the hammer.
Wait, is it the
Rocket
hammer or the dog
That's a KAC.
Yeah.
That is a miss.
Okay, close enough.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I
Close
gotta
enough for
figure out my
35
close
Wait,
enough.
points.
Bubbles needed a 19 to hit KAC.
Oh, I'm changing my spell
So,
then.
that is 35. And I don't do Charless because I already did that. 35.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a grand total of 170 points of damage in this turn. That is a tremendous amount. And Bubbles, you can see as you hit them once, again and again, you hit them first when
Oh,
they are
man.
most vulnerable, and it's like it breaks that spell, and for just a moment they drop a couple of feet. You hit them again, and they drop again, and you almost get them down to the
I'm
ground.
gonna run out of RP.
And in
I
that
don't even need
moment,
that.
they just burst straight forth from that element. They rise back up
Bring
into
myself
the
back
air,
up.
and they shout, "You may not be an ant, but I will vanquish you all the same. It must be awoken before Maldros gets his." And he rises
Oh,
up,
he's where he
and
went
that
last.
is
No, before Maldros.
Yeah, so what are they
your turn,
waking up?
Bubbles.
Not necessarily.
My turn is over. Oh, can I respawn?
Well, sure.
Maldros gets his awoken. What are you talking about?
That brings us to Echo. Shade, you are on deck.
I guess I'm gonna spend some resolve points to stabilize.
You stabilize.
Max
Echo
of
kind of before
Okay,
you
yeah,
could
so it's 3,
even
not 4.
make it out fully into the battlefield, there is an explosion of arcane energy that just rips you down to the ground. You stabilize. You're still entangled in the flickering reboot that is happening, the elements of consciousness that you have. You are aware of these almost like chalky breaking graphite-like vines that crack into the elements of your armor and then break, becoming powder and clogging your bits. This is and it like continues to move and crawl, but you are stable. Anything else, Echo?
That's all I can do.
There you go. That brings us to Shade.
So he's still like 15 feet above
15
me,
feet in the air.
outside of my range, right? I'm wondering if I should full action attack to try and grab gun, pull him down,
Yeah, 'cause he's gonna fuck me up next time.
or if I should just jump up to him.
Are you still up there, Bubbles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mechanically, I'm wondering if I use my 40 feet up
Okay.
and then the rest to come down, can I make an attack on top of him and still like land do I like land as part of the fall action after or the fall after?
Do you have 80 feet of movement?
Because jet dash.
Then yeah, you could do that.
Okay, then I'm gonna like jump up and then in the landing come down, make my attack.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't.
I mean, it doesn't really. But
Yeah.
I need to get up there. So.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's way more speed than you need. Way more distance that you
But
need.
like, it's also. I mean, yeah.
But you rise up and up
It
and up and into the
looks
dark,
cool.
and then you just
I think
slam
Yeah,
down.
Mechanically,
Cube's
well,
like,
also
are we
like
watching
mechanically
wrestling
too.
still?
He's gonna technically, I think, get an attack of opportunity because I am gonna fall after I finish the movement. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, you're right.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So
And it's not forced
because it's like
movement.
right because
Okay.
like I have to get
Fair
up there
enough.
to attack
So
him,
make
but then
your
I
attack
also
and
have
then
to
we'll resolve
land.
that afterwards.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
And
why.
as you get up, as you close, you can see Bastion is bloodied. Like with Bubbles' onslaught, that was a lot.
Temporary HP too.
You know what his AC is yet? It's over 30.
No, that
Oh,
does.
maybe it's not. I don't know.
Ooh!
Okay.
Nice. That's a 19 on the dice. That's a 38 to hit.
Okay.
38 to hit. Absolutely. A 38 is going to hit. That's going to be 28 points of slashing damage. Very nice. They are looking really rough. As you rise up and rocket down, you slash across. As the elements of this mutation or mutagen try to close around him, you are able to hit, and again, it backs off. The arcane element's not able to coil around. But in this moment, they are going to take an attack of opportunity against you, and they are going to hit you with a strike of disobedience.
Whoa. I'm
What
sorry.
is
What?
that?
Bad boy.
That is not a great roll for a total of 29 against your KAC.
Damn, that's a pizza.
It's a pizza.
Or actually, no, that's a regular pizza.
It's a regular old pizza. Okay.
Regular pizza.
So they
Okay,
reach out and they punch you. And as they do, it is just a simple punch, but Shade, there is a weight to it that is beyond something that this individual should be able to house in their body. With this unarmed strike, this is going to be 41 points of bludgeoning damage.
Damn.
And are you down?
No.
Okay. And they are going to make this into a sleeper strike. Spending a resolve point, can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Damn.
Hell yeah. 26.
Oh, right.
With a 26, you succeed by 2. As they hit you, and you are basically rocketed back to Earth, almost slamming into the ground. For just a moment, you feel your energy bank drain. It is as if it just hits 0. You almost become exhausted, but you are able to save. Had you become hit by a little bit more, you may have just felt straight unconscious. But you are able to withstand the sleeper strike, and you rise back to your feet on the ground. Anything else, Shade?
That is it.
Alrighty. They turn, looking down at you, and Bubbles, from where you are, having fought people like this before, you would get the sense that this individual is quite reactive. But that is your turn, Shade. That brings us to Gibbs.
But free action lifelink to Echo.
Hey. 13?
He at 13. Yeah.
The familiar sensation of Gibbs bringing you back to life. Your body crushed, like elements displaced and no longer
I
connected.
created a mod for it.
Yeah.
Poor
You
Zoe.
bleeding? You bleeding?
No, I'm good.
Are you bleeding?
No. I have 50 more HP SP.
Yes.
What's 13?
I can't. You're the only person I can move closer to. So I will just. I'm gonna move and not use a full action to heal people because people don't need it.
Does that mean I move?
I'm not moving closer to you.
Oh, we can't move closer.
Right? We can't. Oh wait, but I can only move half. Wait.
For the
We're
We're entangled.
tethered.
where you're tethered, you're entangled right now, so you cannot get closer to each other because you have this opposite.
Right.
But you can get further away.
But I can get further away.
It's like you're sharing the same magnetic
I think it's
polarity
still
or
hard to
something.
get further away. Give me 1 second here. Entangled is a little bit silly.
Yeah, so entangled says I can only move at half speed.
Yeah,
But
so you
it's
can move at half
special.
speed. It's no, because you have the opposite force. You're moving at 0 speed, I believe. I think you can make as an action an athletics check to be able to move.
Oh. No, I can't do that.
Okay.
You could
I
try.
wonder
You're not
if
using
we
your
do
action.
make that check, if the other gets pulled with us.
I don't know. I can't make that check. That's not a check I would succeed at.
Well, you can try if you're not
Oh.
going to do the action, right?
No, I'm gonna hold my action for. I'm gonna hold a dispel. I'm gonna hold a counter.
Okay. And what is the condition?
It's when a target casts a spell.
Okay. Which target?
The Bastion bitch.
Okay.
Bastion bitch.
Sure. That is your turn, Gibbs. You hold that action. That brings us to the sludgies. All right. Ugh. So these little guys, they are going to now have to jump down and spend their turn climbing over difficult terrain. And then dashing a bit here and here. This guy is going to jump down and dash. These guys are
Oh man, there's so many of them.
So they're gonna be dashing all day over here. So now, with their larger allies kind of blocking their larger explosion-based spells, they are forced to jump down and run. You can see their hands outstretched. These rotting touches charge.
What?
They close the distance, but because you're the one that's right there. They also just that's where their movement was ending. They couldn't go further.
They dash though.
That's great. I'm glad they dashed.
But that is they. So technically, they still don't know that you're up. They're
Okay.
yeah. That is the sludgy's turn. That brings us to Spice.
All right, here we go.
Spice, in front of you, there is a caustic fissure just ripped and roaring. These 30 feet high flames licking the ceiling of the space that you are in. You can hear the roar of combat beyond you. Make your D100 roll.
95.
Oh damn.
With a 95, you look around and you have to attack the nearest creature. You have nothing in your hands.
no. Yeah.
So you rush forwards into the flames towards the nearest creature, who I believe is Gibbs.
Yep.
And then sneaking up behind Gibbs, a couple things happen all at once.
Uh-oh.
So first, because you were walking through these caustic flames,
Yep.
the caustic fissure, can you please make a reflex saving throw?
Yes.
Is the encephalon
Oh,
trying
brother.
to time the
11.
nerve grab to make Spice
Not
jump?
really. That is going to be a failure. You take 22 points of acid damage as you rush through the flames. In your mind, it is Gibbs just spewing this out at you, so you rush forwards and just try to punch Gibbs in the face to stop this from coming forth. Go ahead and make an unarmed strike against Gibbs.
Oh my god, I rolled a 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
There you go, for a total of...
Oh, so it's going to be a 14 to hit.
Okay,
Okay.
so Gibbs, Spice comes up and just slams their fist into the steel straight next to your face. You turn around and you can see the encephalon sunk over Spice's eyes. Spice is not in control, but it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. That is your turn, Spice.
Yep.
That brings us to the top of
I'm
the
free
round
now,
and
though.
at the end of your round,
Yeah.
that encephalon.
She's like, ow.
And just goes to sleep, like tired, exhausted from taking you over again and again and again. That brings us to the top of the round and to Bastion. So,
What are you doing here? Just kidding.
Bastion is going to look over at you, Bubbles, and he will say, "The finest thing that nature has ever produced. I didn't think it would be time, but you threaten this operation. Awaken."
What?
Can you pop
What
the
are you
top
awakening?
of that?
Damn.
silver
No.
thread off?
What is
No.
the awakening?
Oh no!
I think it's
No.
The silver crate? This guy?
Silver crate.
Yes.
Okay.
What is that?
This creature.
I know what it is in D&D. I don't know what it is
will
here.
rush forwards here.
It's one of my favorite D&D monsters.
Right behind you, you hear the screech of metal as the bolts that held this thing together are exploded outwards. The metal rips open. It is not open just nicely. It tears as this creature rips out, and you can see it is bony. It looks like elements of maybe a cockroach, but massive in scale. You can see spines that go across it, and as it rushes towards you, the spines along its back move counterwise, almost like a chainsaw, and it rushes towards you. Bubbles. This is going to take
This is gonna kill me. This guy.
Bro.
a single attack against you.
Bro,
That's not great. So it is a 39 against
That
your
hits.
KAC. All
He
right.
wasn't bleeding before. He's not bleeding now.
No, I'm
I got 13 temp HP now.
So this bites into your face, Bubbles, and you can see the teeth almost like a gorilla's, these long fangs, bite into you, and then they begin to twist. The teeth themselves turning almost like gears in a cog, mashing together against it, and as you are drawn into this mouth, you take 62 points of piercing
Oh my
damage.
god.
Okay, hold
And-
on. 62 piercing. Oh, I'm good against piercing.
There you
That's,
go.
95.
that's minus 10, so it's
Hey,
55.
That's still pretty good.
Wait, no,
52.
52.
52 points of piercing damage. And for this moment, as it
Moment at my
bites
feet.
into you and is able to strike you, how much did it succeed that attack by? What's your KAC?
33, so it was 39, so 6.
6. You are not swallowed whole by this creature.
Yeah!
But
Oh,
it's
man.
close. You feel as if it is about to just you down, and you grab onto elements. You slam the Dashko into the side. You barely hold on, but you can feel it drawing you in. This creature stays right where it is, and that is Bastion's turn. That brings us to the Greater Sludgies. So, our Greater Sludgies,
Aren't real great.
he has to go a different direction now.
It only helps if multiple people are bleeding.
He
What?
can't actually go through there. He has to run all the frickin' way.
I'm
can't move it
gonna be
anymore.
bleeding soon.
I know, but like,
I'll probably be bleeding soon too.
yeah. So when you guys start actually bleeding, let me know.
It'll almost certainly be the next hit that I take.
What?
Okay. Big Sludgies have to run as well. As now, this is becoming a very congested scene. That brings us to Bubbles. Echo, you were on deck. Bubbles, this creature just biting into you, the sound of a chainsaw of bones just spiraling around in front of you. What
For
are you
flavor,
doing?
Bubs is gonna kick down on the tongue and escape out of the grapple.
Sure.
And fly back to Bastion and say, This is crazy. You're just like Maldros. What you're doing is it's gonna change everything. You can't be doing this.
And to that, he says, "This will change nothing. This will bring things back to how they should be. We are a blight, all of us, and we will set this right." Anything else, Bubbles?
I'm going to attack.
Okay.
Triple attack. Here we go. That's a 7 or a 1?
That's a 7.
Okay.
One's
so
on the,
that's
the
a
side directly next to it.
7 plus 12 that's a miss.
19, yeah.
So that's gonna be a close enough.
All right. How much damage is that?
Hold on, might have close enough. That is 35 plus 5 for frenzies. But no, that's with the frenzy. So 35 was an ally hit.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's 41.
Very nice.
Dude, I'm not close enough. Close enough is cool.
41. So yeah, 41. I'm gonna do the second one.
Okay.
Oh, nice. 18 on the dice.
Okay.
Very
That
nice.
is a
18
miss.
plus 12.
That is a miss.
Wait, plus
30.
2? Did you use the Wisp Ally?
No. 18 plus 12 is
30.
30.
2.
32.
32, is that against KAC?
It's the hammer.
That is a miss.
Okay, close enough. Oh man, I'm gonna
There you
run out. I'm gonna run out. Because I have to keep at least 3.
They are looking rough, though. As you hit them with those 2 blows, you crush an element of their scapula that just cracks and breaks. You can see that bone for a moment protrudes through the skin, and then is swallowed by Gaia's mutagen as it just ricochets across their skin, becoming fur that is thick like an ape's.
It's 35.
35 points.
And
One more.
for the last one, Bubs is going to go for like a straight lunge with the rocket hammer.
Another 18.
Oh my god!
That is a close enough. So 35 more points of
Do you
damage,
have any
and
RP left?
he is looking rough.
5.
You
but I
can
only
see
get a
now
choice
he is
more than I
breathing
can get everybody
heavy.
else.
You can see Bastion, the lilac eyes looking a little bit crazed. The eyes look beyond, past this pump. It's something that you cannot see, but that is all that you can do, Bubbles.
Yeah.
All right.
Bubs is just going to go... No, I already said something to him, yeah.
There you go. That is your turn. That brings us to Echo. Shade, you are on deck.
Um,
Echo, as you come to, you look around and there is sludgies everywhere. You are in a sea of these creatures.
So mechanics-wise,
Yes.
it is a plus modifier to attack somebody who's prone. Yes.
Give me
I think
1
it's
second.
plus
here.
4.
I might need you to do the kill shot.
I'm just wondering, can I attack from my prone
time.
You
position?
can attack from a prone position, yes. I believe it's minus 4.
Oh, I'm gonna stand up then.
Okay, you stand up.
Echo, as part of their stand-up, is going to use their eyes to flash.
Sure.
Okay, that's not as bad. These are weenies. It might not be too bad.
It's a lot of weenies.
It is a lot of weenies.
It's a weenie roast.
32.
That is a success.
Great. And we're going to attack.
It's easy to flash weenies.
It's so easy to flash weenies. Weenies are
Only
here
takes
for
like
it.
5 seconds.
I wish I was a weenie.
And it's a 26 to attack. It's
That is a
slashing.
hit.
Yay! I might hit a weenie and take it down.
Hello.
Right, so that's 3. Oh, I have discovered a downside to using the tower.
Wait,
You
Clogs.
have too many dice
did you
for it.
revive on this tile? Because that's the tile you went down on, and you're attacking this guy?
There we go.
Because you can't move closer, would be really helpful.
There we go. Yes. Thanks.
No, that fucks up my turn.
Anyway.
Should have intervened too earlier.
Yeah.
Well, can I just
10.
step on you?
So I just did the whole
20.
math. Yeah, step on me.
Well,
30.
Already hit me.
That's after done.
And... that is 60 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
And we're going to throw a bleed on that to this this guy.
How much bleed is that?
It'll be 13 on their turn.
13 on their turn. They're still up, but as you hit them, you come up and almost bisect them straight through the front. You are just a little shallow, and so you do not split the entire thoracic cavity open, but they are hurt. Anything else? Echo. What was that?
nothing.
Beans in the jeans.
Ooh, jeans. Hate to see it. Well, you can just flick those beans off.
Spill the beans.
Anything else, Echo?
Oh! Oh!
Little preview for the After Dark
Just
session.
flick the beans off.
Oh my god, I'm blushing.
Okay. You move over there
Wait,
across
we
the
can't
floor.
We can't move.
Your
can't
intention
move
to
at
throw them
all.
around.
I
Yes,
can't
yes. So as you begin
Yeah,
to
it's like a
move,
pain in
your
the ass.
legs just churn. And Gibbs, you can feel yourself being suffocated as every minute that Echo moves pulls these entangled vines tighter.
Everyone's standing perfectly on their little fucking squares.
Anything else, Echo? All right, that is your turn. That brings us to Shade. Gibbs, you are on deck.
Cool. I'm going to do the same thing that I did last time
Okay.
and hope that it kills him. That's gonna be
Does
a...
this guy reach though? Are you gonna take 2 attacks of opportunity?
He's gonna do the jumping thing he did last time.
Yeah, I gotta jump to get up to Bastion. Because, well, if I use my movement to get up there and, like, grab him, actually, hang on, because I might want to make this a charge. mechanically.
Okay.
Charges are good. I love charges.
Yeah, to try to
They're
bring
really
them
good
back
flavor.
down.
I decided I was gonna change my whole turn, so it doesn't really matter which screen we're gonna stand on.
Move up
I
to double
need
your
to
speed,
get
make a melee
5
attack at the
people.
end of the movement. You can draw a weapon during a charge
You and I
attack.
can choose
based-
space.
It's a full action though.
Well, yeah, but if I'm doing my movement,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can charge up.
yeah. So can I charge up?
Yeah, you can.
Cool, I'm gonna do that then and make it a charge attack to try to take him down.
So go ahead and make your attack roll.
Ooh, that's and
You
it's
just take a -2.
right? Okay, so that's plus. So that's a 33.
A 33 against KAC.
I believe so. Yes.
That is a meets it beats it.
Oh my god, we got the
Alright,
EAC number.
So
33.
This is good. Come on.
so yeah, I'm charging him,
Don't cross your fingers.
and if the space. So I make the attack, and then I take a -2 to my AC until the start of my next turn.
Damn.
Can't move any farther after the attack.
So you roll damage for the charge.
Okay. Nice. Nice. That's most damage and least damage plus. So it's going to be 29 points of slashing.
Very nice. 29 points of slashing damage. And then anything else?
And with the charge, do I bring him back down to earth?
No. Charge. That's closer to bull rush. Is that
Oh,
what
okay.
you're
Yeah,
for
it's
there?
bull rush without the
Gotcha.
push.
Gotcha. Okay. And then that's it for me.
All right, no problem. That is your turn, and you do not provoke an attack of opportunity, though not because you use charge. You have never left this larger creature's area of attack, and Bastion seems to be more focused on bubbles. But that is your turn. That brings us to Gibbs.
Gibbs is gonna lifelink with Echo.
Okay.
And Gibbs is gonna mind thrust Bastion.
Okay.
Can I do it at the? Could I please do it at the 4th level?
You can sure try.
Oh my god.
I have my shimmer staff out.
Oh my god.
Could I get a will save, please?
So first, Bastion's going to make a mysticism check. As a
no.
reaction here.
Oh no.
No, he's gonna counterspell your last 4 spell
He's
slots.
going to take a +1
I have that
circumstance
magic
bonus
thing.
on any saving throws that he makes.
Okay.
This is Mind Thrust. He has seen this cast before, so it becomes +2. What kind of save is that?
Will, please.
Will. Okay.
I forget it. I always have that magic thing. I forget.
29.
What is it called?
Alright, he succeeds, so he'll take half.
Is this Mind Effect?
It is.
As you cast Mind Thrust, for just a moment, you are brought back to Ara's Bay, as again, you realize that there is an immeasurable consciousness behind the guise of this figure. Though there is mutations that are happening and they are striking you with this body, there is something immense behind them and nothing happens. You remember, Gibbs, this person is immune to mind affecting abilities. Anything else, Gibbs?
I did remember that.
Gibbs had actually mentioned it last session, that's why I remembered.
Yeah, we talked about it.
No, this is the last round of Echo and I being bonded.
Correct.
Damn. I thought you were gonna tell me them.
SSE.
All right, so that is your turn.
Yeah.
That brings us to the regular sludgies. All right.
Guys, we're gonna get TPK. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Apparently we also have a -2 to our ACs.
Right.
Great.
I also don't think I should have hit the last round.
My shoot at RACs.
We had to take a -2 penalty to your AC, attack rolls, reflex saving throws.
With the -2, you still hit.
Okay,
Nice.
that's good. Initiative checks and dexterity-based skill and ability checks.
Okay, so Echo,
Okay.
you find yourself in an unfortunate situation.
I feel like I'm in an
Although
unfortunate
this
position.
person does bleed out at the start.
I'm happy for that.
Woo, we got one, guys.
Did it.
Nice.
So Echo, as this person stumbles forwards, they only had 10 points of health left with 13
Great.
bleed. As they step forward, part of their leg just ruptures and they bleed out on the ground.
Love that for
But
me.
Echo, you are now surrounded by
Yep.
these individuals.
This feels scary.
And they're going to start taking some attacks against you.
Makes sense.
So first one reaches out with Rotting Touch.
Yep.
That is a bad roll.
I love that.
That is going to be a total of 26 to hit.
No.
So the first one misses. Just swiping over, you duck underneath. The second one swings out, 25 to hit.
No.
That is a 5 and a 4 on the dice, by the way.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
The third one, kind of reaching over top, and Echo is moving faster than you have ever seen Echo move before. That is going to be
But, like, not moving, so just, like, in one.
Yeah. a 32 against your KAC.
No.
There you go. You just dodge
with
underneath
-2.
this one again, and then you see the final one lurking underneath the pile as they strike,
Come on, Echo.
and that is going to be a 32 again. And so, Echo, you tank the entirety of this
Oh
swarm
my
of
God.
sludgies, this necrotic reaching over you,
I have no
grabbing
I
and
have no
trying
good
to
spells.
just pull the living force from your body, and you just dodge every single touch.
I feel like they're just doing one of these maneuvers.
But that is all that the sludgies can do. That brings us to Spice.
Spice rubs her knuckles and goes, ah, that was weird. Okay. Whoa, looks up at the crazy worm. I'm getting Akaton Wormtune Waste Worm vibes.
This
but
is much smaller
also-
and much more of like a almost cockroach-like insect, but so
Ooh,
many
gross.
segments that it looks almost like a snake. It's unfortunate. It doesn't look like a worm.
This is engineered to be angry.
Segments.
The worm would just mind his own business.
We were encroaching on this natural habitat, and maybe cockroaches live
I
in
feel like
sewers,
it
I
was
guess. I don't know.
genetically
Anyway,
modified.
Spice is going to see Echo in dire straits over there.
Yep.
And she just calls out to Echo, being like, "Has Echo met Bastion? I forget. Were you
Yeah,
there?
that
Okay.
was nice.
Oh, right, you were there. Okay, good.
I watched it today.
I have notes from September of 2022.
They don't make
It
sense.
was the day that we debuted the solo cams on either side. We had just introduced that as an ability.
It was a really good episode. I remember that episode.
Anyways, what are
Okay,
you
so
doing,
Spice is going to reach out to Echo, be like, "You got this, hun. You can defeat these guys. That was a great hit that you just did." And she's going to inspiring boost Echo for 44 stamina points.
there you go.
Feels so much better, thank you.
Move action. I'm not gonna get closer. So what I'm gonna do? Wait.
There is like this roaring wall of flame directly in front of you, so getting closer would be tough.
You can climb over me. I'll
Or
help you
go
up.
Yeah,
around the big
move.
guy.
I
30 feet
wanna
back.
make myself harder to hit, but literally.
Right now, you're between a fire and a mutant place.
I didn't actually need to move closer to get Echo. I'm going to not in the face. 20%, or what is not in the face again? Let me read it. She's making herself harder to hit.
Okay.
Move action, blah blah blah. Enemy within 60 feet. So if Bastion tries anything crazy, he takes a -4 to all attack rolls
Must
against me.
succeed at a will save or.
Oh, do you want? I don't want him to do a will save.
How about do that? The big beastie guy who's the one that's like right next to you.
That he's not right next to me. He's gonna.
That guy.
Oh, yes.
Fuck your day up.
Okay, I'll do it not on Bastion. I'll do it on
The big
Major
sludgy.
Sludgy.
And that's a will save?
Yeah.
33.
Oh, he
Damn,
saves for sure.
willful.
Just breaking through. They turn,
Oh.
looking over at you.
Okay. Yes. All right. Never mind. That's
Anything else, Spice?
Cinema Q is gonna get ready in case her mama gets hit.
Okay. Cinema Q on standby. That does bring us to the top of the round.
Oh, yeah, I should have said that.
That brings us to Bastion. So Bastion has been attacked pretty equally by Bubbles and Shade, but really it is Bubbles that is causing the most problems right now.
Bubbles
Done,
is.
like multiples of damage more.
Yeah,
Bubbles is the bubble.
I'm angry.
Angry bubble.
So they are going to use flashing strikes to use a full attack and make 3 attacks with a -3 penalty.
Oh no, that's my move.
They are also going to use their entropic attunement to give this the staggered property.
Oh no.
And then finally, they are going to add a little damage by cashing in some of these entropy points.
No.
So they look at you, Bubbles, They are bloodied. They are badly hurt. And they say, I cannot let you stop this. We are only hours away. And they reach over and they strike you impossibly fast. Bubbles. Second. That is going to be a 37 to hit.
Oh, that's actually pretty close.
That hits.
That hits. The second strike will be a 36 to hit.
That hits.
Damn.
And the fourth strike is going to be a 42 to hit.
Damn!
So with the first strike, that is going to be...
Tell me the damage type too.
Huh? Oh,
Damage type.
No problem. With the first one, that is going to be 52 points of acid damage.
Okay, so 52.
The second one is only 31 points of acid damage.
Plus 5. The second one is what?
31 points of acid damage.
31.
And then the third one is 50 points of acid damage.
I'm down.
Oh, there you go.
Damn.
Hits you once, hits you the second time right in the gut, and as you bend over,
Yeah.
you see the knee just whistle up as they snap your head back into unconsciousness. And you spiral down out of this creature's mouth, just hitting the ground.
Can we say I flavor I land in the trash bear?
Yeah, no
That'd be
problem.
super
You
funny.
land straight into the trash.
Nice.
You
That makes
wedge
trash.
at like a 90-degree angle so that like your hands and your feet are both out, and you are down. But that is Bastion's full attack. That is going to bring us to the greater sludgies.
We didn't have
Okay. So, the greater sludgies now finally, after this
kill 'em.
long ass walk,
I can't. My shit's mind affecting.
What about Hadoken?
there,
It's not a great
right
spell.
up here. Okay.
Because I can't move, so I can't line it up nicely.
Gibbs, this creature right next to you.
Someone's got to kill him.
Spice is right there looking cute.
That is true. Spice
Spice, do something.
has not done the same
buff.
amount of damage as you have.
Nothing.
And so, well, you're healing people, and that is a pretty big deal. So for them, they are going to reach out and grab you with their hands,
Yep.
and you can feel your blood begin to bubble and turn caustic and acidic. Can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
15.
That is a failure.
No!
Your blood becomes infected.
No!
You take 8 points of acid damage,
Okay.
and you will continue to take 8 points of acid damage each round as your body begins to acidify. But you can attempt a fortitude saving throw to halve that damage, and you are sickened until this ends.
Damn.
And Gibbs, that will be going on for only 2 rounds.
Okay.
But they begin to convert your blood into something else as they grab onto you. You can feel this mystical energy just kind of roaring through you. The other one, who is a little bit further away, but still... Oh, yeah.
Can I take a round?
Yes, you can.
Cool. So because he hit me for enough that I am now in a hit point land, I'm gonna laugh at danger.
Okay.
So all of my allies get a +2 to their AC.
Nice.
Oh, hell
Kids, you
yeah.
begin to cackle. I
Which
know this
one?
person was not immediately
no.
targeting you. You definitely draw some attention to yourself, and that gives the rest of your allies a bonus.
Gives us
Anything else?
No, that's just a reaction. We're good.
That's just a reaction,
Yeah,
right? So the
pretty-
second sludgy, able to close in with you, Echo. You were able to dodge all these attacks. You have just been like going left and right, and then this.
Sorry, Entangled is still up, yes?
I believe it
I think it ended last.
ended last round.
Oh, hey.
nice.
Oh, yes.
At the end of last round. So
Great.
Fuck yes.
they are going to throw an element of their hand towards you.
Can I second?
I don't have a second. but I can use-
Give them in Beeson.
And
I'm out. I have to
Echo,
use that.
can
Yeah.
you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Don't like that.
Oh, sorry. Actually, before that, does a 35 hit your EAC?
Yes.
Okay.
Natural 20 on my on my
Nice.
saving throw though.
With a natural 20 on your saving throw, you are taking just
Oh wait, no, it's not reflex.
36 points of acid damage, halved to 56, 18 points. And that is all that happens with that rotting touch, is you are able to overcome the worst of that damage. That is the greater sludgies. That brings us to Bubbles. Oh, sorry.
Get a bubbles.
Yeah, to Bubbles.
Okay. Bubs will use maximum 3 RP, right?
Yep.
Can I use less if I have? What's the rule where I can use less?
It's a quarter of your HP.
Up to a max of 3, though.
Yeah.
A quarter of your max RP.
RP. So
RP. Up to a max of 3.
So,
I don't know if there's like
Up
a
to
few or
3.
something. I don't know.
So yours is 3.
Mine's 3.
yeah, mine's
too.
3. Yeah. I was gonna Okay.
I have.
Using
things
resolve
that let
points?
it-
Yep. And I already
Nice.
have.
You stabilize in this trash can, protected a little bit by the armor of the thin aluminum. But that is your turn. That brings us to Echo. Shade, you're on deck. Echo, you are in a bad position.
Echo is in an awful position, to be honest, but Echo can move now, so Echo is happy about this. Echo is going to.
Or something.
Let's see, who do we want to hit?
You just need an
Who
auto
do,
hit.
we're gonna take out this weenie. We're gonna try to take out this weenie.
Okay.
We're gonna give him the eyes. And with an 18 on the die, which brings us to
Alright, back up.
44
44.
for the computer
Yeah.
check.
44. That's why I said back up. I know you don't like
Is there a
bugs.
bug?
Yeah, just a little spider.
Where?
Little die long legs right there.
I finished Spider-Man
44.
Home Sweet
44
Home
for
or
the
whatever.
computer.
That is
check,
a
yes.
success. Absolutely.
Nice.
Thanks, Dan.
Alright, Dan.
26 to hit.
26 again.
Okay, AC, I believe, for
That
the
is a
slashing.
hit.
Sweet. Woo. Run away.
Dan's a druid.
Again.
Oh, yeah.
Another
Well,
one.
he's a ranger.
Those are a dime a
damn.
dozen.
Don't denigrate the druid. So that's 10. 30, 40, 57 points of slashing damage.
Very nice.
And again, we're gonna throw a bleed on it.
You would imagine they're probably not going to survive this turn, but they're looking rough and they're there.
And we're gonna go here.
Okay.
So we will get probably attacks of opportunity from these three.
You will. So Echo, the first one. Ooh.
Actually, hold please. I'm
Yep.
going to go farther.
Okay.
I've decided farther is better.
We will see.
And we'll just take the extra attack. There we go.
The first one is going to be a 42 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. They reach out and they strike. Let me roll damage on that real quick. Okay.
This.
Echo,
Yeah.
can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Okay. Uh-oh. 14.
You take 21 points of acid damage
Damn.
Oh no.
from the first one. The second one is only going to be a 25 to hit.
EAC or KAC?
That is EAC.
Great. Nope.
And the third one, less. And then did you move in such a way that you're provoking the fourth also?
I did indeed.
Amazing. This person, they're barely held together. You can see the blood just spouting out from them, but they swipe out at you with one last attempt at some kind of attack. That is a 34 against your EAC.
That's my EAC?
Yep.
Damn, that hits.
Can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Okay. Bye-bye. That's a natural one.
No!
With a natural one and a little bit of
jail,
luck, you are taking only 22 points of acid damage.
Okay, I'm still up.
There you go.
Oh my god.
And so, though you take hits on your way out, you skirt away from danger at least a little bit. Anything else, Echo?
Crouch?
Hey, free action crouch.
Press
The
B.
little eye just goes, tss. But no problem. That is your turn. That brings us to Shade. Gibbs, you're on deck.
There is an explosive right here.
Is this an explosive that Bubs is pointing out to me?
There's nothing explosive in that area. There's some
Okay.
old like shells and things. That
Okay, but there's nothing that's like.
Yeah, this
little
is
bit.
mostly garbage.
No, that's just
Garbage.
a. Okay.
It's set dressing.
Damn. All right. Does it seem like Bastion is changing focus down to me, having taken Bubs out?
No,
Okay.
they seem to be turning their eyes in the direction of Gibbs.
Okay. I'm
Who
gonna.
attempted to mind thrust them foolishly.
Okay. I'm gonna
I should've
try to
tried.
draw the attention. I am going to make a full action attack.
Okay.
First attack is going to be a gravity gun shot to try and pull him down to me to then make the second attack with my sword.
Okay.
Okay,
make an attack
invisible
with the gravity
woman.
gun.
Okay, Bucky. Who else does it? Okay, Spider-Man. They all do that.
That's a... so I believe it's a 33 to hit. And then if that is a hit, it's a...
Come
reflex
on.
save.
33 is a hit.
Yes!
Okay.
And that is a reflex save, which is going to be a 34.
The DC, I think it passes.
I think so, too.
Does he take fall damage?
It's also fun to move anyways, but yeah.
I think it's 25.
It's 22.
Mifflin,
So
yeah.
yeah, easily passes.
Fuck.
Okay, then I guess I have to make another gravity gun attack.
Yeah, I guess
because
so. Go ahead and make another attack. You fire once, nothing happens.
him into
so
the
you just
dragon's
fire
mouth.
again.
Natural 20.
They do get that save.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a gravity gun. Damn.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty good.
No.
That is a 36.
Fuck.
And so they just
Damn it, even
shrug
on
it right
natural
off.
20.
You can see, no, but close. You can see they are just shrugging this away. The entropy around them seems to just shed magic, shed gravity, shed everything that is not the elements that they are permitting in.
There is
Damn.
a knockdown effect for criticals.
Ooh!
The target is knocked prone.
That's fair. As a reaction, you see they enforce their ability to be stable within this area. And
No!
once per combat, when an attack or effect would knock you prone, you can ignore that effect.
What?
No!
What?
Love me some Starfinder.
No!
What a crunchy,
you
like,
see he just
subtext.
floats there.
Fuck
Just able
that.
to
Fine, I have this
pull him
thing that
again,
works
and he
once
just
for this exact thing.
Pulls again. You are not able to pull him down. Anything else, Shade?
Damn!
That's all I can fucking do. That was a full
Alright.
action attack.
And he glances at you
Damn!
and then turns his attention back to Gibbs. You get the sense this reactive individual, not done yet, but it does bring us to Gibbs's turn. And Gibbs,
Save us, Gibbs.
you see this individual, the lilac eyes peering across the battlefield at you. The caustic flames that are near you beginning to die down. You get the sense that they are ending at the end of this turn. What are you doing?
The cackle that Gibbs has goes a little bit from like ha 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 manic crackle to like as like the lilac eyes kind of hits her. So Gibbs is just gonna go to her old standby, pull the bottle that's running very low on her back, and shake it and heal all of her allies within 120 feet.
There you go.
First, I'm gonna lifelink with you though, so you get a
Nice.
little boon. So you get add plus 13 or whatever.
How much do I, when I save, I have to go to 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then it's 10d8. Hold on, 10d8.
This is kid points, right?
Yeah, only hit points.
Okay.
So it'll probably max you out, but
I have 95 max.
oh shit, I rolled like shit. 36. I got 4 ones.
Boo!
36. But,
Hey, every little bit counts.
add 13 yours.
That's a lot
and
more than some
13?
people had before.
You
'cause
you
you
get
got
plus
life
13 because you
linked.
got life linked.
Oh, okay.
So I give you 13 of my
Oh,
own hit
no.
points.
Oh, I thought that was the life link.
No.
So,
Oh,
anything
no.
else, Gibbs? You
You
shake the
So
bottle,
on.
you explode the champagne of garbage juice across your allies, and you heal them. But you're starting to feel hurt, and you know that this individual's attention is on you.
I only have
yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna make eye contact and let him come.
We all do that sometimes. That brings us to the sludgies.
I don't like making eye contact when that happens.
Hey, you know what?
It's too intimate.
It's too intimate.
That's gross.
Bleeding?
Oh, man, he just goes straight down.
nice.
Nice.
So that will mean that Shade gets the little L. And then, that is all my regular sludgies. So
Oh, no,
Shade,
you're the popular girl.
That's cool.
you, as Echo just disappears and you fire the
I
gravity
had
gun
3
once,
HP.
you fire it again, you yank them down, but they are not budging.
More
You
now.
look down,
More now, but that's
and they have
okay.
all enclosed around you. Each of them is going to take a rotting touch attack against you.
That's cool.
Shade, the first one, I can't see this.
Talon loving the dance.
That is a natural one, so that is a miss. The
Yay!
second one is going to be a little bit better at a 39.
No.
And the third one is going to be a 39 as well.
No!
Fuck!
pretty good rolls on this side. So from the first one that hits, that is going to be 13 points of acid damage. Can you make a fortitude saving throw, actually? Sorry, you get savings.
Fucking yeah. Oh, nice. 28.
With a 28, you succeed. You are actually only taking 6 points of acid damage.
Nice.
And from the second one, make another fortitude saving throw, please. Although this is laughably bad damage.
I'm adding my health back up to where. Okay. How much? I make the save first.
Yep.
Ooh, not as good. Dirty 20.
You take the full 6 points as they roll minimum almost on this. But that is all of the attacks as you are
It's
closed
actually
in around. Yes.
relatively
I'm gonna
okay.
take 8 damage for my blood being acid.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes.
Just FYI.
Then you have another turn of
Guys,
that
guess how many
left.
hit points I have?
3.
69.
Hey, nice. That is all of the
Alberon After
sludgies
Dark.
as they close in around Shade. That brings us to Spice.
Spice. There was so I'm looking at my notes again. I have Insectin Space Station, ants, ant farm like a cage? Question marks. He says. Doom Prophet, joy? Question mark. Malice. I don't know what any of this means.
I don't either, so what are you doing,
How
Spice?
are you making sense of that in battle at this moment?
So Spice thinks about Bastion saying ants. She thinks about the ants that are crawling around in the vivarium. There's just like a montage of ants going through her mind now. Brings us back. She's
the
going a little
payoff?
bit crazy.
It's the encephalon, yeah.
Yeah, still recovering. She does
After
that,
effects.
and then of course everything comes back to sex. So as Gibbs is casting her spell, I don't know, I'm assuming you have the bottle in your hands and you're shaking it. She takes one of Gibbs's little paws and smacks it up against the thing here, and she does that thing where she leans in really close and like whispers in. You know, you make me nervous.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to actually make you nervous.
Like that though, and kisses her better. And so
With or without tongue?
no, without. This is just like a sexy
Yes.
pet.
This is a medical
Yeah,
Yeah,
sexy
this
kiss.
is a medical. But I need to
The
know.
nurse
I
outfit
assume.
on and skimpy.
Strictly
The kiss
as
chase.
Yeah,
as
but
team
sexy.
it's flirty.
strictly as team workers.
Yeah, strictly as team workers.
It's wet. but there's
I
no
need to
sound.
know your total medicine bonus +5, and I
My
need to
total
beat
medicine
it.
bonus?
Yeah, so
Oh,
this only
22
works-
plus 5 is 27.
Okay, so I have to beat a 27 for this to work.
Oh. Tragic.
Oh, maybe. Since it was a chase kiss, it's a bluff check, and I beat it. So
Nice.
There you go.
How much
you
better do I
get a bunch of d8s. You get 5 d8.
That's SP. That's the good stuff.
It is SP plus
Sweet
5. Let me pull out my calculator.
Oh,
Oh no! A lot of minimum. 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 15.
1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1.
19 plus 5 is 24 points.
I'll
of
take it.
Hey,
stamina.
every little bit counts.
After all that,
Absolutely.
Every little bit
yeah.
counts.
Hey, that's still a tremendous amount. You are kissed by Spice, but it is a chaste kiss.
Yes.
But a little sexy, and it's sexy enough to heal you a good
Chaste,
amount.
but
nice.
sexy.
Yeah.
I start rethinking my way of healing from a distance. I'm
yeah,
like,
right.
this might be better if I kiss more people.
There are some benefits for sure. Anything else,
It's just
Spice?
an attack
Yeah,
kissing that heals
I'm
yourself.
also going
Normally I
to
was biting
not in the
people.
face again. So Spice with her flirty little nurse outfit on now, I guess, like swishes her skirt in this guy's face, so she doesn't get hit in the face.
Okay, I'm imagining it's still the baby goth outfit, but all you've had time to change is like a tiny little nurse hat up
Yeah,
top.
a little nurse.
So no
cap.
problem. Not in the face. You duck down. You have a chance at maybe avoiding some damage. That is your turn, and at the end of your turn, the flickering flames of that caustic fissure just go down, and they still smolder in the ground, but you can step across them no problem. That is effectively out. That brings us to the top of the round and to Bastion.
You
And
have to make a will
because-
save
oh.
to make sure
Because
because of my not in the face.
But
As one go
because
back
it is
Wow,
8:15.
Will save?
Yep, will save.
18.
You lose. -4 to attacks against
Nice.
Olive. Spice.
Against
So
all of
they just kind of go straight across Spice. The eyes never even rest there. They just go straight over to you, Gibbs. And as these lilac eyes lock onto you, because it is 8:20 and a good place for us to take a break before we start this next round, we are going to step away for a quick break, and then we'll come back to finish this combat. But thank you for sticking with us for this encounter. We will be back at the end of the countdown that you see on your screen. We'll see you then.
Oof.
we're back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, we are playing Starfinder now, and you're part of this battle.
And you're getting your ass kicked with us.
We're jumping right back into combat as Bastion, this mutated individual, badly injured, floating 15 feet in the air, which certainly frustrating for you, Shade. They glance at you as you miss or hit, but are unable to impact with these gravity gun blows. And they are just going to fly 15 feet in the air over Gibbs. And actually, they'll land right between Gibbs and Spice.
Hey, nice seeing you again. It's been a minute. You look different.
Hey, buddy.
Did you do something to your hair? Oh no.
Oh no, trash can't protect me.
It's literally...
You were actually just outside of range.
Oh.
And
Thank you, trash can.
if Shade had hit him with one more attack and not flubbed the gravity guns, this would be 30 feet instead of 15. As they grab on and concentrate on the wounds that they have accumulated over the course of this fight, the elements of the entangling brush that had crackled away into ash almost begins to drift up towards them as if grown in by a gravity well. And in this moment, they are going to use Arrest again.
Come in.
As they spend all of their entropy points,
Fuck.
can Spice and Gibbs
And
please
this guy. I don't know.
No, Spice and Gibbs.
He's probably
Please
immune
make
to it
reflex
'cause he's
saving throws.
also part of the goo.
Sorry, fortitude saving throws.
Oh, nice. That's
One
my
with
best.
the goo.
Spice clutches her.
I don't think I'm gonna survive this.
Praise the goo.
Gibbs is going to temporal fash.
Why are you breaking
Okay.
it open, my guy?
So I'm gonna not take. Actually, wait. First, we have to
Good
resolve.
luck.
No, it's not open yet.
18.
18. So
Sorry, tell me if I take damage. If I take damage, I'll.
you are going to take damage if you fail this save. Yes.
Sorry, that was an 18.
18 is a failure.
Then I'm going to, as a reaction when I'm hit by an attack spell or other ability that would deal damage to you, I can spend one resolve point, which I'll do,
Okay.
to instantly teleport to a space that I could have reached with a single move action, avoiding all of the damage I could have taken, and this movement doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity.
So-
Where are you
the-
moving to?
I want to move to.
Behind the crates.
Is this state safe? in
Yeah,
here?
that's a inert machinery and junk in that area. So yeah, no problem.
Are you hidden?
Suddenly you just disappear and appear in this place. Gibbs. Well, first, Spice, what was your save?
I failed 15, but
Okay.
I want to use Phasecraft for the 20% chance of missing.
Okay,
Nice.
roll a d100. If it's between a 1 and a 20,
Come
it
on,
misses.
Gibbs. You come in space.
Good. Good. Nope.
Oh.
85.
Damn.
Didn't make
Spice, you take 59 points of bludgeoning damage as these entangling elements of these necrotic vines twist and explode out from around this individual and grab onto you. They go into your mouth, into your eyes. They try to rip apart your body almost as if it's a machine. Gibbs, you see this happen and you just narrowly avoided taking 59 points of damage. But that is his full action. He looks down at you, Gibbs, and actually, Spice, what was that roll?
I only rolled a 15, and then an 85 for the Phasecraft.
15, that's the important part there. So, with a 15, you are also again entangled.
Against whom?
Spice, you are only entangled for one round, and it is not by an equal or opposite force, so you are moving at half speed in this space.
Okay.
But that is their turn. That brings us to the graders. Or sorry, that brings us to the greater sludgies. No, that brings us to our friend. So our friend
Centipede.
Our friend,
is
Kitchen
going to
cockroach.
curl around on Shade,
Morbid.
Don't love that.
and he's going to jump up and off the ground. You hear the of these thousands of chitinous legs just kind of carrying them across the steel, and then a scrape as it leaps 10 feet up in the air and then collides like a missile of this chitin into you with his bite attack. Okay.
Mechanically not going out of my reach for
No,
an
no,
opportunity attack,
That's
right?
all flavor.
Thematic.
All flavor. That is going to be a 33 to hit
That's
your
a hit.
KAC.
That's a hit.
All right. 33. Shade, you see grinding teeth begin to move in circles inside this mouth as it attempts to swallow you whole. You do take 56 points of slashing damage.
Damn. So remember what I was saying before?
Yeah.
Probably a
her-
couple fewer.
I'll come in.
And what was that roll?
To
Or sorry. To
didn't
hit.
roll.
It doesn't succeed by 10, and so you are not swallowed whole. But this thing spits you out directly in front of it. It now kind of glowers over you, twisting like a snake around your space. But you are fine. Well, relatively speaking, not swallowed whole. That is the larger creature's turn. That brings us to the greater sludgies.
Oh no.
So, with that creature hitting you, this guy thinks that you're probably fine. They don't know where Echo is. So they are going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet and bend over looking for Gibbs. Gibbs is not there. And so looking up there, just going to see Spice as the lone remaining option.
No, I can't tank.
And
Fuck
they
no.
are going to hurl one of their hands out towards you
You're at a
to
minus
attempt
3.
a rotting touch.
But it's also negated by the +2.
Oh, that lasts till the end of my next turn.
Spice
Yes, you
does a 24 hit your EAC?
No, it doesn't.
There you go. And
No, it doesn't.
They strike out at you. You see this rotting hand coming towards you, and you just swat it away. It just
No, you
scatters into
cannot
the
touch
ground.
me.
That is the
That's not
greater
right.
sludgy who is approaching you from a distance. The one who is directly behind you, however,
-4.
with a -4, is going to reach out with a rotting touch attack as well. That is only going to be a 31 to hit your KAC.
Oh, hits.
All right. Can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
Yeah, I can. So she knocks away one hand and gets a 14 on the other one.
You take 12 points of acid damage, and you imagine that you'll take 12 points at the end of your turn for the next 2 rounds.
Damn.
Okay.
But that is both of the greater sludgies. That
Give me
brings
grenade
us
dice.
to Bubs. Echo, you were on deck. Shade, you were in the hall.
Okay. Bubs is going to get up. He's going to get out of the trash and into the frying pan and jetpack over and go for an attack right on Bastion.
So standing is your movement.
Oh, it was flavor that I felt. I
You
mean,
were
it's
unconscious.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, then I'm just going to
You gotta throw it.
You can
I'm
attack
gonna
from the trash
stand and
can.
I throw it then. Yeah.
Okay, so you stand up. You try to stand up. You are still wedged. So you use all of your momentum to whip this hammer back and then throw it, getting to your feet with the momentum of this hammer throw. Really, just kind of with the trash can still on you.
That's 3 is a single attack, so it's
No.
3 plus 18 is a
That is a
20.
miss. You hurl this hammer and it just straight by.
I don't think he notices me though.
He's all
Anything
wigged
else,
out.
Bubbles?
I'm gonna hide back in the trash can.
Okay, you are exactly where you were before. That brings us to Echo. Echo, from where you are, you can see the battlefield just falling apart as Bastion pulses damage into Spice and Gibbs. What are you doing?
Echo activates their haste circuit
Okay.
and starts vibrating to produce the holographic clones.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot we could do that.
We're reaching into all the tricks.
So there are 4 other echoes on the board,
Very nice.
and then they're going to leap over, and then kind of as they rush forward, they're going to get in between here. Is this an actual space, or is this because it's taken up by this thing's mini but only a little bit?
No, as long as it's less than half.
All right, they're gonna get here, and that's my move. That's my swift. That's my standard. I have another move, but that's it. Question.
Yes.
With one of my move actions,
Yeah.
can I pass Spice a grenade?
You
If I were
already gave them to me. It's in the Discord. but
Oh!
I'm looking for the.
I have more.
Okay.
I didn't give you all of them.
Do you have any hardy ones?
I'll say with the haste circuit active, sure. That makes
Cool.
sense to me.
I'm going to give Spice
Okay.
the frag grenade, and it is a Mark IV. So that does 66 in a 15-foot radius.
Very nice.
Just drop it on the ground.
You
die.
straight
That was the
by,
plan, but no.
and
but
suddenly, Spice, there's
a
just a
shade
grenade
here.
in your hand. Anything else, Echo?
Nope, I am here
Alrighty.
now.
That is your turn. That brings us to Shade. Gibbs, you're on deck.
I am going to activate my rune plates as a standard action.
Nice.
Okay. The fire leaps up around you at your feet. These sludgies around you almost run away from you. The fire kind of getting into their face. This creature still shrieking and attempting to bite you, but what else are you doing?
Then I'm going to use my exocortex to amplified glitch.
Okay.
And I'm going to target. It's just an extra CR for that, right? I'm gonna target the caterpillar dude and Bastion.
Okay.
So its DC is 15 plus 2, 1 for each target, plus 1.5 the CR of the highest.
Okay. And what kind of save?
And I am making a computer's check
Gotcha.
against whatever that DC is. It's gonna be close.
It's a high number.
This is gonna be a 38.
That is not a success.
No, for either of them?
For either of them.
Damn.
Fuck.
That's. Oh, and then I guess I have to stay here because then they're gonna take the damage on their next turn for starting in their space. So this is the best place for me to be.
It's the best place in the whole galaxy.
So I guess I'm just
Well,
gonna
if you get out of there.
put up my sword arm and prepare to get fucking wrecked.
No problem. If you're gonna get eaten, you're gonna be spicy while you do it. That is your turn. That brings us to Gibbs, and the sludgy's on deck.
Gibbs is gonna pop up from her little hidey hole that she teleported into, and from her vantage point, survey the battlefield and see how badly the tides have turned. And is gonna call Spice, I'm sorry, and is gonna times it through
Yeah.
I love this
Spice.
move. Hadouken!
And I can get this guy, Bastion, and the worm
So
all in
cool.
one line.
Coolest move in the game.
But I also get Spice.
You do.
That's
Go ahead,
okay.
roll
I get
dance.
It's easier to heal one of us after the fact than it is to.
Could
heal
I
someone.
get 3 reflex saving throws?
I will
So, first,
this is
where my
some-
nat
First, the
20
little
comes
creature.
in.
Goku
The little
shooting
creature
through
being the
Piccolo
greater
shit.
sludgy.
Yeah.
That's the coolest move in the game.
That's pretty good. So reflex saving throw for the greater sludgy is a 39.
Passes.
For Bastion, who has a markedly better reflex save. Well, actually,
Okay.
Come on, come on, come on.
almost exact same thing at a 36.
If it
And
passes,
then
doesn't matter.
this larger creature,
Yeah.
not nearly as dexterous. 17.
Fail. But it does. Everyone takes half damage. What did you get?
A 16.
You also failed. Hold on. Time
So
to.
Spice and this huge chitinous creature both fail. Bastion and the greater sludgy take half.
Okay. And then, yes. 10d6, 10d6.
Come on, big nubbies, big nubbies, big nubbies, big nubbies.
42?
And Spice goes down!
Half of that to Bastion. Bastion is looking really rough.
Oh!
At
You
the
would imagine,
head
Gibbs, if you had dealt full damage, that might have been a game changer.
This already was a game changer,
deal
Joe. Every
half
little bit
damage.
helps.
To this larger creature, to the sludgy, and then to this huge creature, you deal the full amount. Anything else, Gibbs?
I'm gonna lifelink with. I can't do it to Spice because I would have had to do it at the start of my turn.
Okay.
So it doesn't make sense. But I will lifelink with Bubbles. Hey, Bubbles.
Your lifelinking.
You 13?
Okay.
and I take 13 damage.
Okay.
Gibbs is just gonna kind of bleed on top of this fan that she's standing on.
All right, you bleed into the
And
fan.
also reveal her hiding spot to hopefully all the people and make Spice less of a target.
You can see Bastion looking at you now. That has certainly drawn the attention.
Yeah.
That is your turn. That brings us to the sludgies. So, I'm running out of sludgies here.
I gotta look in my inventory and see what's
Three.
And they're all making DC.
And I'm no longer
17
sickened.
saves.
My second is healed.
Okay.
Heal thyself.
Taking some.
So, 3 DC 17 saves. Reflex?
I believe so.
So, they're all pretty low, actually. So, for a reflex saving throw,
Or you can save life.
the highest one is going to be a 21,
It's a DC 17.
then a
so
19. So, one of them does fail.
Okay, so they take 15 or half for success.
Okay.
I wish I had a grenade.
15
Fire
and
damage.
then 7 and 7, no problem. They take that damage and seeming to almost respond. One of them is going to run away from you, which will provoke an attack of opportunity if
Nice.
you want it, to close in around Echo and form a little bit more of a solid line. 2 of them will take attacks against you, Shade.
Okay.
This rotting touch. One of them is a natural 20.
Okay.
The other one is going to be simply a 25.
Okay, that's a miss.
So that natural 20, can you make a fortitude saving throw?
Should I make my opportunity attack before this resolves, or because I might
you
go
just
down?
rolled it, so let's finish it now. But then, yes, that will take effect first.
Okay, so that's going to be a fortitude.
Yep.
28.
That is a success, and so you are only taking 7 points of acid damage.
Okay.
Sorry, but that was a critical hit. Doubled to 15. 15 points, because it's the
Oh,
full
yeah.
15 points of acid damage. You are not corroded in this moment as you are able to resist. That brings us to the one that is going to hit Echo.
Opportunity attack.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yes!
Resolve that.
That's going to be a 27 to hit.
27 does hit.
Yes!
It's going to be 26 points of slashing.
Very nice. The one that you hit, already a little bit hurt, is now looking very rough.
Don't they take damage from the rune plate because it's on their turn too?
They already did
Okay,
that.
they
already
Yeah,
did
we
that.
already did that.
That was the damage that they took. Anything? Sorry, that was them. Echo. One of them will take a rotting touch attack against you, and that is a natural 1. And so they
Nice!
handle you in this moment. That is all of the sludgies. That brings us to Spice. Bastion is on deck.
That was about to hit you with an opportunity
Um,
attack.
she sees her mother and her father smiling in her unconsciousness. She sees the ants crawl back. And she's like, why are you here? I'm dying. I want to see the face of Hylax, not fucking ants.
There's a metaphor there for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to use resolve points to stabilize. She's at 0 HP.
You come back
Yeah,
to
one. Start
a
at one.
stable state,
No,
but that is
you
your
have to use
turn.
another.
The
Spice.
whole stabilize, then HP.
That brings us to the top of the round and to Bastion. All right, Gibbs. They are going to step over Spice. They're going to go straight up and run up here to you, Gibbs.
Bastion gets his one-on-one time with almost everyone.
And he is going to
I
similarly
know I was an early member of the team. It's fine.
You don't want that.
grab you by
He's
the
like, "What's your name?"
scruff of the chest, and in a swift moment, as they say, sit the rest of this one out. We'll just knee you straight in the solar plexus.
Right.
Unarmed.
That is going to be unarmed. That is going to be a 40 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
All right. So.
Because it gives us magic.
Gibbs,
Yeah.
you take 27 points of bludgeoning damage,
Okay.
and
Oh no.
can you make a fortitude saving throw,
Oh,
please?
did he use a sleeper strike?
I'm gonna stun you.
16 plus 5 is
Oh.
21.
21 is a failure.
No!
It's the best I could do, man.
Gibbs, he hits you straight in the solar plexus. You feel a crack. All of the air just leaves your lungs. Your body locks up, and you are stunned. 2 rounds.
Do I get a reaction?
When you're stunned, do you get a reaction?
Nope.
If it's like on a hit, maybe.
Stunned, you dropped everything held, can't take actions, and you're flat-footed. Flat-footed, can't take reactions.
There you go. So stuns you, and in this moment, you can see he just smiles and then turns his attention back towards the rest of your party as your body locks up. That is Bastion's turn, and that brings us to the greater sludgies. No, that brings us to our friend.
He takes the damage.
Does.
DC save. 17.
God, this.
That is a failure. So
Nice.
15
damage. Yay. Fire
da-
damage.
da-
Hopefully, fire
It's the full
burns the
amount.
bugs.
All right.
How long am I stunned for?
2 rounds. Shade. This
Yeah.
creature is going to rise up and throw itself into a massive strike against you.
Cool.
That is going to be a 31 against her KAC.
That is still a hit.
There you go. So with that hit, let me just go ahead and use my E-roller here. You take 53 points
Yeah,
of
I'm
slashing damage as it just grinds into you and then slams down.
Do the runic plates remain active while you're down, or are they gone?
I think they do.
I believe they do.
Yeah, because I
They're
have to
powered.
use a move. Or
So this
action
creature
to
slams you down to the ground, but almost at once spits you out onto the pavement as you are still on fire. That is that creature's turn, and that brings us to the greater sludges. All right.
Plus, I'll be back up at the end of my next turn.
Oh yeah, because you have that thing.
Oh, I just realized that Joe's wearing a sludgy shirt. I am happy and yet still upset by this. This is great and awful all at once.
This
So many
is
feelings.
great and awful.
So the one that is over Spice looks down, and you could see a little bit confused, goes, and reaches over and is going to try to rip the encephalon off of you.
Oh no.
No way!
No, not my boy girl thing.
Not my boy girl thing.
Spice,
Yeah.
you are unconscious. You see these ants crawling over your face. You feel this mind kind of melding with your own, and you can just hear, "Be good," before it is just ripped from your head, and you lose the Eldritch Encephalon. You watch as this creature looks at it and just goes, and just swallows it whole.
I mean, it is the darkness.
The one that is over near you, Bubbles, sees you in this trash can, kind of cowering, and they are going to reach out with a rotting touch. Bubbles, that is going to be a 30 to hit.
Damn.
Oh, that
Kinda feel bad
misses!
for it
You
now.
go, and you are able to parry this out of the way. That is both of the greater sludgies. That brings us to Bubbles.
Might be in the
Bubbles is going to
in the
move
goo now.
here.
Anything to stop the attack of opportunity?
Oh no.
Okay.
Um,
Bubbles, that is a natural 20.
fuck! I should have just thrown it.
Yeah.
Fortitude saving throw, please.
Fuck! Why'd I do that?
I don't know.
It's okay, we all make dumb decisions.
Okay.
made a lot of them
17 plus
12.
12.
That is a success. And so you take only 8 points of acid damage.
Okay.
But you land on your feet as this creature grabs out at you and the whole hand just rips off and goes with you.
Okay. Where am I?
You tell me?
You dropped your mini.
You dropped your
over
mini back there.
No, back
Okay.
to you.
So I'm like right here.
He didn't stop your movement, did he?
No,
Okay.
You can move, yeah.
they just attacked you.
You can still move where you wanted to move.
It's supposed to be like when you're unconscious.
No, it's just a loogie. It lives forever. 13
Well,
rounds.
until it evaporates.
It's like 13 rounds is a long time.
Takes
13.
a while to
It's my-
evaporate.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like right
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
I
So
guess.
you land right near this pile of containers. Elements of this refuse just scattered around you.
I land 5 feet from I land on the ground.
Anything
So I can be
else?
hidden on
Bubbles?
Bastion. Oh, I should have thrown it. Why didn't I throw it?
I don't know. Anything else, Bubbles?
Shoulda, coulda.
Anything else, Bubbles?
You're good. He's good.
That brings us to Echo. Shade, you are on deck.
Ah.
Why did I do that?
Damn. We're gonna continue taking out the weenies, I guess, because
Okay.
there's a dead shade there.
I'm not dead. I'm just
Echoes just sees you down.
Starfinder.
That's what Echo sees.
It happens.
So we're going to do the flash and shank. So that is 40
That is a success for the flash.
and 29 to hit.
That is a success for the shank.
Great. Flash and shank success.
You can see this individual already a little singed from Shade's fiery rune plates.
Damn, why did I throw it?
Gonna be asking that forever.
It's gone now.
$49 points of slashing damage.
Nice.
With 49 points of slashing damage, you don't even need to wait and see how the bleed affects this creature because you just decapitate it straight away. Already a little bit singed, this creature is no more.
And we're going to shoot to the side.
Okay. You zoop to the side. Anything to prevent the attack of opportunity from the creature?
From whom?
The big towering creature?
Didn't the big towering creature just use his attack of opportunity on Bubbles?
Did. Very nice. Okay, you skirt out of the way of danger.
Someone's keeping track.
Anything else, Echo?
No! Wait!
That brings us.
No, yes.
That
no.
brings us. You're hasted.
I am hasted, but I want to stay where I am.
No problem. That brings us to Shade. Gibbs, you're on deck.
I get up at the end of my turn with 10 HP.
There you go. You stand up, the auto stabilization kicking in. That brings
On my
us
knee,
to
still on fire the whole
Gibbs
time.
And I make a fortitude saving throw.
for.
Breaking stun. I don't know how that
I
works.
don't
No,
believe so. I
you
think you're
just
just
are.
stunned. Yeah.
You just
Then I'm just gonna
suffer the
hiss
effects for
at the
2
back
rounds.
of Bastion.
You hiss.
Just be like,
at the
"I'm
back.
not done yet.
No problem. That is your turn.
Slow.
That is your turn.
Can't do shit to you.
That brings us to the sludgies.
I just can't currently take any actions, reactions.
So you're standing now, right, Shade?
Yes. I am back
So
up
the
and
sludgies
stable.
are not going to go anywhere.
Well,
one
I
will
guess-
attack Shade, one will attack Echo.
Technically, I don't know. Let me just double check. Because
Can
I'm
you
back
get-
up.
Hit points, but you don't get the move action to spend.
Yeah, because it's just
Fair
at the
enough.
end. I've
Then
just...
both are attacking Echo.
Sorry,
Echo.
Echo.
And this is what I wanted.
Oh,
For the
they do
first
take
one?
the fire, though, still.
That's true. It's a reflex save.
Reflex save, DC 17.
Natural 20 for one,
So they take
and a
half.
24 for the other.
So they take 7 each.
7 each. All right. So now the first one will attack Echo. Echo. That is going to be a 33 to hit KAC.
Does not hit.
Sorry, EAC.
Either way.
And then the second one's way lower. So you are able to. They grab at you. You can see that Shade is beginning to recover. That is
I want
all
them
that the
to hit me.
sludgies can do. That brings us to Spice. Spice, you are unconscious but stable.
I'm gonna use the
I'll just
resolve
stay
point
down
as
and
the
keep
ant
smoldering on the
costs
floor.
her vision in real life and in her subconscious life to come back to 1 HP, and she's going to yell at the Bastion and go, "Hey, that wasn't very nice. What happened to your brother Pronto and your friend Dang?"
Okay. You mentioned the bouncer. You mentioned this brother. Anything else, Spice?
You had people for not
I think you have
Do I
to do
have
the
a move
resolve
action?
thing. No, I think you have to do that at the end of your
Yeah,
turn.
I think it's technically there. But, you know, for flavor,
Whatever,
no problem.
Flaves. She's laying there, eyes still closed, yelling.
And then you
into
open
space.
your eyes at the very end.
Yeah.
So you open your eyes at the very end, and that brings us to Bastion's turn. Calling that out, they seem to ignore your hiss, Gibbs, and turn and cross the space in a heartbeat over to Spice.
I would have fucked you
That was
if I
good.
had the chance.
No, Bubbles would have
Still
fucked you.
would.
I would have fucked you up for fucking my boyfriend at the time.
But now you're
And
broken
Spice
up.
would have joined in.
So,
It would have been really hot.
threesome?
I would have watched for a little bit, don't get me wrong.
They look down at you, Spice. You call out about Dang, about their brother. They look at you and they say, "A regrettable loss."
What?
Like all of you. And they bend down and they punch you on the ground. That is
That-
going
what?
to be.
Did they take it out of turn?
No.
Oh, they got a thing.
Spice, that is
you.
a 36 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
All right.
All right, that one was personal. I got him. I gave him emotional damage. Can I get a point of emotional damage?
I think it's being given back to you.
It is in the form of 31 points of bludgeoning damage.
Spice.
Yeah, but see, I had one.
As they just sink you down into the ground.
But you got a
They
good.
turn, they look
lick in.
over
Save us.
around at the battlefield and see crouching behind these elements you, Bubbles, and they just crack their knuckles from where they struck Spice, and you can see that their intent is fixed on you.
Good.
That is Bastion's turn. That brings us to the greater. That brings us to this big, gigantic creature.
And he takes more
What
fire
an
damage.
evil villain! He killed his brother and his friend with that
That is a
sad ass
failure.
backstory.
So
15.
15 points of damage. Very nice. This creature's starting to look a little hurt.
A little crispy.
Lydell's the real
Little
villain, 'cause
hurt.
He
I
made
would
him
say
like this.
crispy.
Well, just like the undercarriage is probably getting a little warm.
Wait, so if
Are you up?
No, I'm still down.
But you have
I am
have
up
hit points.
at 10 HP.
That's enough.
Oh no, they can sense you breathing.
It can feel the heartbeat, yeah,
And
more
it-
specifically. And so
well,
it will bend down
You haven't
and
Shade doesn't
strike
breathe,
you.
so technically it doesn't have a heartbeat.
There's theoretically 5 heartbeats, even better. Just a little bit
There
further
you
away.
go. But it is going to attack
Brain
Shade.
neurons.
That's a pretty bad roll for it, but still going to be a total of 38.
That's yeah.
With a 38, it is going to roll middling damage with 33 points of slashing damage.
Down.
As it just grinds you back down into the
Wow.
ground and again spits you across the concrete because
I'll
you
be
are
back
on
up
fire.
again in a sec.
It's like it's trying to eat something that's too hot out of the oven and just keeps spitting it back out onto the ground.
Too hot.
That is its turn. That brings
Shade
us
is
to the greater
designed to
slices.
suffer.
That's good. Working as intended then.
Billy and Shade have a lot in common.
This sludgy is
What?
going to
Designed for
turn
pleasure.
around.
Shoot ripped. Hi.
Echo,
Hello.
this huge creature reaches towards you, and they're
Uh-huh.
going to attempt to rotting touch you. That's not a great roll. Echo does a 34 against your EAC hit.
We will find out.
Okay.
It hits Echo. Yeah.
Oh, Echo.
All those.
Echo, you take
minions
16 points of. Oh, wait, sorry. Make a fortitude saving throw.
Yeah. No, that's a 9.
You take 16 points of acid damage as they grab you, and there is this corrosion that begins to crawl across. That is
Is that like corrosion, like the mechanical corrosion?
mechanical corrosion.
Okay.
No.
This robot bleed.
And that is all of the greater sludgies. That brings us to Bubbles. Echo, you are on deck.
Bubbles, where even are you on the map?
right here, Bubba's gonna
Oh.
turn around. He's gonna go up to Bastion, and he's gonna shout out. He's gonna do a single attack, and he's gonna shout out. That's not my. The thing about ants is, ants work together.
That's cocked. That's so cocked.
I could hear it be cocked from over here.
19.
Yay!
Whoa! That will be a hit historically, so go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, you get
Matt needs a shield.
Roll damage.
Alright, maybe this
Three.
is it.
We had less rejoicing for the natural 20.
That's baby.
Dan's been trying to kill Bastion though. He's been waiting for this
Okay,
moment.
has he been trying to kill Bastion or love Bastion?
Okay, that's
Kill.
a 9.
Size
You
of the
also
same
have
line.
the
That's
five
another
points.
9. That's
He wants to be the
18.
last man to touch it.
18 plus 3 is 21. Plus 4 is 25. Plus 7 is
32.
32. Plus 30.
Plus 12. Plus 30.
Plus 30 is
62.
62. And he hit an ally.
Yep.
Plus 5.
So plus 5. Or plus 6.
Bubbles. Tell us
Tell us
how
all
already badly hurt as Bastion. You have hit him. A lot of people have hit him. And for a tremendous amount of damage, you could see the wounds healing over time as he was able to withstand blow after blow. But you catch up to him, Bubbles. Tell us how it happens.
Get it!
Bub's is holding behind the corner, knowing he's ready to strike Bastion. And as he goes to hit Spice, he feels the twinge of no, I gotta protect Spice. And he goes around the corner taking momentum of the floor of just dragging the sparks of the hammer, and then goes right up for an uppercut to his head and delivers that one-liner.
Fantastic. And you slam the head of this person. We work together, and the whole body just goes ricocheting into the hallway that you just came from, separating him from this machinery, and the head obliterated into a fine mess.
Not the hottest man in the galaxy.
There is no element of this mutagen that
Who
can bring
takes
them
the
back
throne?
down.
That's me.
They are dead. And all at once, all
He put
around
his
you,
hair on
you
your
can
head.
see
Gross.
the greater sludgies and the weaker sludgies just drop to the ground.
Hey!
No.
That creature
way!
begins to shriek and wail out, and you get the sense takes the confused condition, and we will see what happens on their turn.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
But
Spice looks
that
at it.
is a
and goes,
tremendous
"Oh."
shift, and you can see that off in the distance there's like little elements of shifting movement and things. There is a ripple effect of mystic energy that off Bastion's body. For you, Gibbs, attuned to the mystic arts, you get the sense that there is huge implications to what just happened.
What?
But that
All the
is
sludgies.
your turn.
All
Bubbles?
sludgies.
Yes.
All right, that brings us to Echo.
So this thing is still alive.
It is rampaging now. You see the head throws back. It lets out a ear-piercing shriek. The legs go all over the place. The eyes seem sightless. This thing is confused.
It takes some damage on its turn.
It will, but it's
But
Echo's
it's Echo's
turn.
turn.
Oh, sorry.
Echo, taking advantage of this moment and its confusion, is going to further the confusion by blaring their communicator with the weird chanting that Bubs recorded earlier and sent to all of us.
Yeah, go for it.
Whoop, and I'm going to miss the tower completely.
Oh, interesting.
So that is a 34? for the
That is
communication?
just barely a success.
All right, and that is a 29 to hit.
29, that is a hit.
Hey! I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna stab it.
Gonna cry.
You killed Bastion.
You did it. Nice job, man. I'm proud of you.
That is...
Like number 2 villain.
There's a part of you that's a little heartbroken.
I know. You killed your man.
You'll never own an ice cream shop with him on the beach.
55 points of
Never
slashing
say never.
damage.
55 points of slashing damage.
can-
That's a
we
lot
can
of damage,
rebuild
and this creature is now starting to look a little hurt.
We're gonna make him bleed on his turn.
Okay.
In addition to his little golden halo up there.
Oh, he's wearing hats. Anything else, Echo?
Echo, is your room plate still active?
Yes, for one more. This is the last.
It's such a
round.
dope
Or
idea.
This is gonna be the last round.
So it'll be gone on your turn.
It'll be gone at the start of my next round. No, so like, this turn it's gonna be on.
Next turn it'll turn off.
It'll
Okay,
turn
Echo is going to move behind you.
Okay. That is what you do, Echo, taking a big chunk of damage out of this creature. That brings us to Shade.
At the end of my turn, I am back up at 10 HP.
There you go.
Rune plates dissolve.
Back up.
No.
The fire just still licking. You can feel it beginning to just give out, but it is still up. That is your turn. That brings us to Gibbs.
Neither an action nor reaction nor any action economy. Gibbs can lifelink for free.
There you go.
So Gibbs will lifelink Spice, giving you 13, so you can be up. And then Gibbs is still stunned for this round, but now is no longer stunned at the end of her
There you
turn.
go. That brings us, after you pump a little bit of health into
Nice,
Spice,
boys.
bringing her up, that brings us to the sludgies. The sludgies
That
are
is my shimmer
unconscious.
staff.
That brings us
I
to
cannot
Spice.
pick it up yet.
Oh,
Spice,
Spice
this
is
creature
up.
is just shrieking and just thrashing left
Yes,
and
you are.
right.
For
What are
your
you
turn.
doing?
Spice wakes up with a grenade in her hand and goes, looks dazed around, sees Bubbles like panting over Bastion's dead body and goes, we have a lot to unpack after this. What am I gonna do though? I guess I'm going to.
In Spice's view, when you kill somebody who's hot, you absorb their hotness.
Yes. So now, like, Bubbles is like glowing with
Bubbles has-
aura.
Eat his face.
There's
Magical
one less
head
hot
on his
person.
cheeks.
It's like the
Just
fucking.
got like bands of sludge.
Yeah.
I wish I could do damage. I can't really do damage though.
You woke up with a grenade in your hand and is like, I can't do damage.
Well, I don't want to Well, Shade is down. Echo's right there.
I appreciate you not blowing us up.
Technically not down.
What you doing, Spice?
That would probably.
I'm
put
not
me
gonna
back
throw a
down.
grenade at my allies. I'm sorry.
I mean, I
I'm
would.
literally not. You did. We all know.
You literally just killed Spice. Anything else, Spice?
Yeah, I'm going to daze it. So she, from the ground, just like leans her head over, claps her hands together. Blah 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 blah. Will save. I can.
That's a
do
will
that.
save.
Yep.
17.
Failure.
That's amazing.
Great.
So it's dazed, and then move action instead of getting up, still from the ground. Who wants a move action? Literally anyone.
I don't
Okay. All right. Shade, you need a move action?
I mean, every little bit would help.
She just like,
it doesn't...
she knows where your mind is. She points from laying down. She goes, "You got it." And then you feel, you feel hurried.
Got it.
That is your turn, Spice?
Yes, that's
All
my
right,
turn.
you send this hurry over. That does bring us to the top of the round, and to Bastion, who is dead, and to the greater sledges, who are unconscious, and to this creature. So, roll on a D100 here.
It takes damage at the start of its turn.
It does.
DC 17 reflex.
It's
Makes
dazed.
that
Oh, if it's
save.
dazed.
I don't know what that does.
Still
It
gonna make
can't
that
take a
save.
turn, but it can move if it wants to.
So
no
first,
action.
no, it doesn't get to make a turn because it is confused. So at the start of its turn, it rolls a D100 and rolls a 73. With a 73, it is going to deal 1d8 plus strength damage to itself
Nice.
as it slams its hand into the ground.
It
like mole style.
It still does take 7 damage fire.
It already took the 7 damage fire. It is going to deal an additional 18 points of damage to itself.
Damn.
And it's starting to look really hurt. That is all that it can do on its
confusion.
turn, however. And that brings us to Bubbles.
Bubbly.
Bubbles is gonna go for a standard attack.
Throwing.
That's a natural 1.
Oh,
Climbing
struggling
across the
through.
broken elements of
The
these
battle
tendrils of ash,
You're
and
just
you just
riding
can't
the
quite make it
Bastion
over.
death
You
high.
slam
This has
down.
no
and
luck
Uh,
anymore.
Where are you going specifically?
Anything else, Bubbles?
'Cause you don't want to go into my room
Oh, am I in your
plates
room plate?
right now. You would
Um,
take damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna move so I don't do that.
Okay.
Move him 5 feet over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
you're
you
good
go.
there.
All right, that is your turn, Bubbles.
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to Echo.
Fuck it up. Echo, trick attack
This creature
that,
is in a
bitch.
rough shape. It is confused. It is bleeding.
Dun 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 dun.
Ooh. Probably not gonna hit. But it might be confused with a 34 for its computer's check.
That
And
is
then
a,
it
that is a
punches
meet that
itself
beats it for
again.
the computer's check. What is the hit?
It's just a 16
That is a miss, unfortunately.
because I rolled a 3.
That is a miss, unfortunately. Anything else, Echo?
Echo's just gonna make use of the haste circuit and just go over here.
Okay, there you go. This creature confused doesn't seem able to take reactions. That
Why
brings
not?
us to Shade.
So using my movement to get up as the fire goes out from the
Your
room
first
plates.
movement, because you have 2.
Oh, right.
There you
Nice.
go, yeah.
Then I'm going to use my second move action to...
Get out of the way, and maybe I can throw the grenade, but also.
Yeah, I guess I can stay within this thing's range by going 40
They can't take
feet
opportunity attacks
and
either.
40 Well, I'm going to jump over to the other side of it.
Okay.
And then use my exocortex to do distracting hack,
Okay.
which is
That's a success. That's a natural one.
cool.
If you go here.
So
Nice.
they're flat-footed as well.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I guess, yeah, they're flat-footed. I'm taking the attack. 29.
That is a hit.
Oh yes!
You're dropping all that stuff
My
over there
kitchen cockroach.
For 28 slashing
It's like a
damage.
ring toss.
Very nice. This creature, with that strike, you draw it straight down through the body, and there are elements that open up. There is just this viscous goo that oozes out across the ground, and as it thrashes open, you hear this as it splinters up and begins to crack, almost like a lobster, but this creature is still up. Anything else, Shade?
We need the boiling pot. We
That's
can
it.
have
That
boiled
brings us to
cockroach.
Gibbs.
I'm gonna times edge for my little spot. It's my last 3rd level spell.
There you
Girl,
go.
I'm still on the ground.
Hold on. I can do it in the air. I can do it in the air.
You can. This
Yeah.
creature is tall enough that you can
Yeah,
just...
sorry.
So,
I'll look over and be like, oh my god,
What kind of
again?
save?
You attacked her first.
Reflex.
with a
I missed,
reflex
though.
saving throw and
So
a
did
roll
she.
of 1, that is going to be a 13, and I believe it failure.
That fails. 10d6.
Damn.
That's a cool move.
10d6. This is the start of Gibbs not caring about her allies part. 28.
This is
The start?
This creature survives that strike. It reverberates through, and you can see the flesh on the inside of that wound just tears. There is elements of the organs beginning to slide out through the plates, but they are still up. They are in bad shape. Anything else, Gibbs?
10d6. Yeah. Oh, we're good.
Alrighty, that brings us to
Oh,
you.
I pick up my swimmer shop. My swimmer shop.
That brings us to Spice.
Alright, I'm
You can see
figuring out how to
Shade is
throw a
rolled
grenade
over
right
to
now.
one side. Are you proficient with grenades?
Yes.
Okay, so make a ranged weapon attack.
Okay.
What's your proficiency modifier?
Well, you're not the only one who hurts your allies, so.
And what
We didn't hurt
you have to target an intersection on the grid, so like a little point between 4 squares. Where are you targeting?
The far side of
Okay.
its four
Go for its
square.
head. Aim for its head.
Oh yeah, wait, can I go for its head?
You can, yeah.
So it's in the air.
You absolutely can.
Literally what I just did.
So you tear the pin. There's this, and you wait. You hold it for a couple of seconds, and then throw so that it explodes up in the air. Go ahead and make that ranged weapon attack.
Okay.
Echo is out of the way.
Dude, you do great.
Believe it or
Good
not,
job.
thrown weapons are my highest stat.
I believe it.
Next,
143
second-
sessions in, we're learning how to play Spice.
Okay, so it's going to be a 22. Wait. 23.
With a 23, this is a perfect lob.
What?
You throw this grenade, and it goes end over end and hits exactly where you want it to, almost directly on the nose of this creature before it detonates. It's a 15-foot sphere, correct?
66. It's a 15-foot, yeah.
Doesn't hit any of your allies. It explodes. There is shrapnel that rains down amongst all of you in this room, except for maybe you, Gibbs, who is far away. It hits all around you, just burning red-hot bits of metal. Miraculously, none of you hit, but this creature certainly is.
Alright, 6d6.
Let's see it,
I was
let's see
looking
it.
out what a frag grenade really is.
Come on, Olive. You got this.
Grenade.
Do it.
I have a
Got it,
cord out
girl.
one somewhere.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's gonna be a good amount of damage. Let me pull out my calculator. 6 plus. Last one for good luck. 21 points of damage.
Spice, this creature had 20 points of health.
Oh my gosh!
Tell us how it happens.
I'm gonna, for flavor, I was gonna get up, but I guess she just stays on the ground with the grenade in her hand. She just flit it up into the air as she pulls the pin out. And then as
Good
she
part.
gets up, she spins around and like Waystation El Paso, she just kind of sexily walks away. As
Cool
the
guy
thing
walks
pulls
away
up
from
around
explosion.
No
behind her.
problem.
From the
You
ground.
begin to
Yeah.
walk away. For all of you, you're like, wait, why is Spice walking away? And there's this explosion. The whole head, you can see the grenade goes up, and as it screeches
Cinema
out,
cue, clip
the
that.
grenade just goes straight into the mouth and explodes. The head just rips in and then out and just goes everywhere across this floor. And you're all out of initiative.
It might be because Bastion's dead, but that was really
Barely.
sexy to Bubs.
Okay.
Oh my
She's
God.
like peering
The
over
hottest
her
person
shoulder,
in the room
making
is
sure
dead,
he's
so you're
all
like,
right.
looking for the
All the pheromones were released upon his death.
For you all, you are all brought into a space here. It is just chaos in this space. The echoes of this creature just shrilly howling out echo off the space here. But the sludgies that you can see are unconscious. They are not stirring from this loud sound. You can see in front of you, past the pump in the administrative buildings, there are dozens of other pumps in 2 columns that stretch out at least a quarter of a mile before the darkness and the curvature beneath you draws the terrain out of sight. The radiation here is not immense, but there is a slight signature from beyond. and you can see that there is a distinctly cleared road that goes from this sort of gas station-like structure straight back and goes on and on and on, almost centered through the space where wheeled vehicles have almost certainly traveled recently. You can actually see on this path there are a few sludgies, but also unconscious. You can see just slumped over elements of barricades, one passed out, their face against a glass window, all seemingly unconscious.
Do we think are sludgies people who we can save, or are their bodies like mutated
Make a
forever? They
medicine
dead?
check. You kind of walk over to one.
Echo started like getting ready to just make sure to double tap everybody.
Yeah. Team
I have a thing
report
for
in.
this.
Is everyone okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Oh no, I don't. What did you say? Mysticism or engineering? What you said?
Medicine.
Medicine? I don't. I'm alive.
And Echo just like begins to double tap.
You just start cracking
Oh.
disintegrating pistol shots
I forgot.
into
I
the heads of these
absolutely
creatures.
loaded up my medicine check. So 25.
With the 25, the creatures that you were seeing here, especially as you turn over and Echo just disintegrates one of their heads, probably beyond saving.
Damn it.
Those individuals that you had slain that were speaking to you and potentially trying to abduct you, those ones potentially you could have saved. The ones who are still able to speak and have some kind of cognitive process seem to maybe not quite be beyond the grasp of science. These ones, no chance.
Bub is gonna fall to the ground, just like on his legs, and just go ah, 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 and just out of the corner of his eye, he just sees a little bit of static on his bubble.
Sure.
Ah, ah, and that's it.
Spice, Bubs, Gibbs, are you okay?
I'm okay. But
Spice, in a fit of rage, is going to dive at this sludgy's body, tear open his stomach with her fucking knife, try to find Steffi in the
No way!
Yes!
Seeing that, Shade's gonna be like,
Like, God!
and
How
gonna
could you
go
take my love
start
from
heading
me?
to go see what their fucking operation
I will say for
is.
this, make a medicine check.
Okay. So she frantically is like, not my baby! Okay, well, it's gonna be a 29.
Is there anything that anybody is going to do to help?
can I hinder?
Are you
Yes!
hindering?
Yes.
Gibbs, make sure that.
I want all those
So
spells!
Gibbs is gonna walk by,
Gibbs
like,
sees it and,
and
is
on
like,
the
oh,
way-
steps.
Sees the sort of frantic thing, and just tries to like nudge the body a little bit, like can see sort of the cephalon in the stomach, like knows the anatomy well enough that hopes that Spice will accidentally stab the cephalon as she's frantically doing
How
this.
dare you!
Nice.
So Spice,
How
you
dare
don't,
you?
you don't notice that this happens. You
Way to go,
stab, you
Ari.
stab, you cut into this creature, you tear open, you rip out like guts and elements of bone, and you don't see any
Yes.
encephalon. For you, Gibbs, as you walk by, you see something mix into the blood and viscera that is not part of the sludgy, and almost certainly this caustic creature very quickly dissolved the encephalon with it.
Well, I guess
Gibbs is gonna walk by and go to Bastion's body.
Okay, go over to Bastion's body.
At least it has a host, I guess.
It's dead, but that's okay.
In the afterlife, it has a host in the
Yeah.
afterlife. It's made into the dark
You
place.
go over, walking back into the corridor that you came from, finding Bastion's body just crushed against the wall.
Oh, Bastion. Such passion, but so poorly directed. I mean, you got a nuke at least. That was kind of cool, but man, can I'll grave words in the start.
Okay.
I also like fried rice.
Bub is gonna get up and kind of like stammer towards Gibbs's. Imagine Bastion's close to him.
No, Bastion's over here for some reason.
Because of the
Because of me.
hammer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bubs
He, like, died.
fucking
Yes,
smashed
absolutely.
his brains in.
Yes, how could I forget?
There is no head,
Okay.
so using
Oh.
the grave words.
Loot the body?
Make an
Okay.
investigation check or a perception check, sorry.
Sure.
I wanted to go and see what is going on with, like, what are they
33.
doing?
With a 33,
That's what Shane's going to find out.
you look through this body and very little on it. You'd imagine if there's anything that belonged to Bastion, it would be somewhere else. you look around and almost nothing, to the point that it must be at least relatively nearby. And your eyes kind of draw around, and you do recognize that there is these sort of like vehicles off in this area. Wherever Bastion has come from, likely where you will find his stuff.
Any semblance of how he exerted control through the powers of mysticism from his anatomy?
Make a mysticism check.
Cool. I'm gonna. This is like the world's shittiest mysticism autopsy. Natural 20.
No
Oh my god,
way!
what is time to get a natural
Autopsy.
20? Oh my god.
Plus 23 is 43.
And with a natural 20,
Oh my lord.
things click into place.
Plot, plot, plot.
Behind the head of this individual, you have vanquished Bastion, but you have really just vanquished a body. You have defeated a thing of flesh and blood. And that is not what Bastion is.
What?
Not really. Bastion had spoken about something needing to be freed from beneath the ice of somewhere. And you wonder if maybe that is really Bastion.
Oh no. Rough.
But in this moment, you have defeated the tool that they have been using. And that is probably very good. You realize all at once this nuke would be perfect for splintering ice that is
Oh.
hundreds of feet thick.
Gibbs, you look like you're in thought. What are you thinking?
I think that there's a thread here.
And then
His life force didn't die with your hammer swing.
you remember that Bastion had said Dr. Maldros was going to get his first. For what it's worth.
This Bastion was just a puppet that we were interfacing with, but there's something deeper and darker still controlling him. His soul's not here anymore. I
What-
probably couldn't bring him back if I tried.
What do you think was controlling him? I mean, he always had these crazy thoughts about bringing back planets and bringing things, taking over nature, and I always thought that was his kind of, MO, but you're saying there's something else controlling him?
It's only crazy thoughts if you're thinking of it from the mouth of someone who should be invested in the life that he would need to live. It's not crazy thoughts if it's just a mouthpiece from a dark eldritch horror beyond the ice.
Nice.
Ice? I don't know. I had a vision of ice.
Like an ice planet?
Maybe like an ocean? Cold?
He did talk a lot about Exonautica, and he said that there was something underneath there all the time.
That's where I think whatever was controlling him is. But I'm not sure. It's kind of hazy now.
Bubs will kind of like give Gibbs a hand to like pick her up.
You okay?
Yeah.
Rough.
I think I overdid myself with that one. I feel fine, but sometimes I think this old bubble is it's starting to show its old wear.
Really?
No, I mean me, Bubs is, I'm starting to feel wear down. I'm fine. I'm fine, Gibbs.
From somewhere like across the field, Echo just says, Bubs, aren't you in your early 20s?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, it's more like 20 and a half. Like when we started as a team, it was my birthday, and it's like almost been like half a year now, and like, I've like grown like a lot.
Like most small children that will tell you they're not 12. They're 12 in 3 months. Bubbles is not merely 20. He's almost 20 and a half.
Do you think Maldros is on his way here? Or we're trying to race Maldros to somewhere?
I believe for once it seems we have beaten him.
You think if we activate these pumps, that's
Echo's
a good thing?
going through and double tapping
Yeah, I
all of
wanted
the
to-
things that are unconscious.
Oh, with your speed, you've already done that.
Yes.
Easy enough. You coup de grace every single one of these individuals.
Um,
Echo doesn't trust a thing that's just
as you go down
unconscious.
through this road, I mean, there is more and more of them kind of gathered around. Are you just going down the road?
Echo would probably not go too far. There would be like a line in the sand where Echo would just be like, I have gone too far.
Make a perception check as you get to that line.
real quick, Bubs is just going to send in the group chat.
We're all right here.
Some of us aren't.
Yeah, just
Um,
what he know. We already know about Exonautica from our space. Bubs is just going to be like, he was going to maybe use the nuke on Exonautica. You remember him talking about that? And just send it to the group chat.
There's a little like exclamation point reaction to that.
Gives us a little
34.
fortune teller's ball.
Okay, we'll
Crystal ball.
Crystal ball. For you, Echo, as you reach this line, maybe like 50 feet beyond the space, you look back, you realize you've like inadvertently running just like for a second too long. You get like 200 feet away pretty easy. It's kind of like flying an SR-71 Blackbird. If you turn like 2 seconds too slow, you're
Their
in
haze
Europe.
circuit's still active. They can move 140 feet
yeah.
around.
You see off in the distance, hundreds of feet away, a place where the refuse has been cleared away. There is twisted, rusted steel that stands off to the side from where fresh titanium infrastructure emerges and rises 10 feet above what at this range is hard to really picture. With your Android vision, you can't make out colors, but you see a 50-foot tall missile. You can see with that check, just barely, faintly, the letters ACOM-3. This is almost certainly an Ares nuclear missile. You can see
Snapshots sent to team.
above it, just a faint bit of light coming down from where a massive aperture has been freshly installed, more than 80 feet above. And from where you are, almost certainly, were this to open, this would tear the steel jungle above it apart. And then agri-zones above that, and the exterior of Aphrodite above that, exposing the megacity to toxic landscape upon launch. You can see unconscious sludgies across the ground. You see like one like in a window of a high-rise, like slumped up against it, like way off in the distance, all unconscious, some over concrete barriers. You, with a 34, actually make out all these little ropes. And then you realize not ropes, these are elements of toxic sludge that kind of fizzle away and sublimate up into the air. You can see becoming caustic smoke above the unconscious form of a sludgy that spans at least 30 feet wide.
Excuse.
Almost like a massive octopus-like creature. At first you thought this was just some kind of melted plastic, but an unconscious creature just sprawled across the street.
So the street, not on top of the nuke.
Nope.
Okay.
This seems to be perhaps some kind of a guardian. It's spread out in front of the street, maybe 30 feet in front of the nuke, maybe 400 or 500 feet away from where you are.
Okay. But deceased?
Unconscious.
Echo, immediately starts up the communicator to the team.
Okay.
I have located the nuclear missile. However, it appears there is some sort of guardian sludge in front of it. It is unconscious. I plan to end it. Any objections? And Echoes sense like the images.
not really.
Or we could leave it for Ares. We've already done more than we
Maybe
needed to.
do we want to talk to it or do we just want to kill it?
I would prefer to just kill it, as it is a massive toxic sludge, and historically, that has not gone well for us.
Are you approaching it?
Yes.
As you do this? Okay. You can also see scattered around this site as you near, there are dozens of boxes stolen from Ares. You can see the branding across it. You can see other crates from various other companies, actually. A few of them open. You see grenades sticking out of a couple. You see some healing supplies. You actually see the glint of a almost kaleidoscopic looking stone. There is a tremendous amount of loot just kind of scattered throughout the space. Almost like a staging area for a small army.
We have also discovered a great amount of loot.
Loot! On my way! Let's go, Bubbles!
We might wish to check out the warehouse before coming. Anyway,
You can hear your party
Echo,
approaching.
because Echo has been stealthy, that's what in Echo's mind is the only thing from keeping these things from coming back up.
Yeah.
So Echo is just going to immediately go over and end the Guardian.
You rush over, and no rule required. You level the disintegrator pistol to press the trigger, and there is a tff of this acid, and it is like the entire 30-foot sphere just takes a last breath, exhaling finally, and just falls apart. There are bits of like steel and things that were held together just by this creature that collapse along on the ground, but this creature is dead. The rest of your party quickly catches up if you want to.
Well, Spice was making a little shrine
Okay.
for Sephi,
Sure.
and like writing its name with the sludgy's teeth and whatever as its headstone. But the second that loot is involved, she just gets up, like knocks
Steps right on
over,
the grave,
steps
yeah.
on the grave, and it's just like, what? I'm coming!
Runs off. Everybody just races over. For you, Echo, as you were there first and you were quite quick, you do get a first chance at looking through this stuff if you wish.
Echo is less concerned about that and more concerned about the fact that we haven't explored this entire place. Echo was just going around trying to make sure that nothing interfered with the exploration and inadvertently ran into a nuke.
Make a perception check.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay. That's better. That's a 38.
With a 38, you begin to move through, and as the rest of you emerge, you can see Echo zipping around, like examining every element, looking for traps. And Echo, there is a trap that you do come across, and you are able to kind of point out to your party if you wish to. This is a sort of pressure plate, and at first you look around for an explosion, but it's far too thin. There's nothing like that, and as you look around, your android eyes catch a tiny little dart projector on the sort of elements of outcrop steel off in the distance. Would likely fire some high-speed darts in this direction, and you can choose to point that out if you wish or not.
Echo just like kind of stops and like stands in front of it and just goes like this.
Easy enough for you.
Not here.
You also make it up to a point within this infrastructure that seems to be some kind of like a launch room. And here, there is a single sludgy. You can see they're wearing a t-shirt, which is like sort of the most that you've seen one of these individuals wearing, so maybe some kind of a badge of office. And they are slumped down across the control panel. Their head hits the glass. This is the person you had seen out of, and their body about 3 inches above a large red button. And just inches from, okay, you slide them off to the side. You are looking at a launch initiation button. This would start a sequence that would begin to count down.
Echo immediately pings Shade and it's like, assistance is required.
Yeah, what is Shade? Because I know Shade said he went over there to do something.
Yeah,
went-
you guys
he
are
went to go-
you guys are
Okay.
all kind of approaching this, but
He went to go look at the warehouse though.
Okay, hang on one sec. We'll get
Yeah, I
there.
want to see what Shade's doing.
For you, Echo, you note as well within this space, there is a small data slate. And it is currently open and active, and you can see there is a list of freighters on this. The names Nature's Wrath, Solar Tides of Change, and the Trotsky 2. These are all large freighters that are all currently within the Bobby Lee Memorial Spaceport.
Oh shit.
That is what you find.
Isn't one of those the ones with like the explosives on it?
That we learned about from Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
It is not.
Okay.
Nature's Wrath. What else?
Solar Tides of Change.
And the Trotsky 2.
Well, they sound familiar though.
Yeah.
I forget why. Maybe because of
The Solar Wind
My
Song
fingers
is
bleeding.
Rose
That's why I
Lashman's
missed
ship.
that.
So Echo makes like evidence copies of everything for Ares, like puts it all into a big folder. Did we get like an e-contact or like that we could
You
send
did.
to?
You had gotten a contact. I don't think you got a name attached to it, but you did get a contact for.
We got like a Dropbox.
Hang on, I got.
You had met with a captain, but
Yeah, we
but
got-
that was not the. Well, you don't know whose information this is.
His receptionist.
His assistant's assistant.
Do a sort of Hirsch.
But are you sending a message to that person?
Echo would wait for the captain to say so.
Okay. So Shade, where are you going while all this happens?
I wanted to go see what the facilities are and what they were doing and
Make an
trying
engineering
to
check.
shut this operation down.
This is not the pump.
No, we want
This
to
is-
activate the pump.
This is one of the pumps within the field of pumps. They have
And it's the only
taken
one that's
this
working.
one. Yeah,
That seems to be at the moment. But go ahead and make an
this is the
engineering
one
check.
that they have co-opted to use for whatever he was trying to process. Probably the guy's mutagen to lace into the drugs for the mind control. But Shade's trying to like confirm a lot of things. Natural 20.
Oh! These are good
Wow.
These
natural
are good
Oh.
shits.
We're saving
Um,
them
do you
for
need
the
the actual
checks back
number?
here.
No.
Yeah,
No,
who
natural
needed them
20
for
is-
combat? Let's
Clearly
get the
not
lore.
us. We all just
I
died
love
a
the
bunch of
lore.
times.
So here you can see
Look right to that
administrative
side.
buildings. You see this pump that is almost certainly pulling elements of Gaia's mutagen out and then channeling it into these buildings on the side. You go into that other building and you can see there are dozens of these small storage tanks that are each slowly filling with this stuff. As they fill, there is an emergency shutoff that will cease them from filling once they reach their capacity. But that tells you, Shade, that now that you have stopped Bastion doing what he is doing, if you were to leave this as it is, because those dams in T-Town have not been cleared, that will cause a very big problem in a relatively short amount of time, in days. That, once it reaches a certain critical threshold, will cause those dams to rupture. T-Town will very
Overflow
quickly
with
fill with
sludge.
this sludge, likely mostly corrosively burning into a goop, and will continue to rise until that problem is
a lot of
addressed,
chemical fires.
probably filling up the radium spike. If you were to do a little bit of engineering to perhaps moderate the amount that is being pumped so that little bits of it are allowed to burn off at the same rate, you could allow this to essentially remain in stasis, or you could get somebody to come and man the station yourself.
Okay.
But you get the sense that Bastion was pumping huge amounts of this out in the attempt of potentially refining it in the future, though there is nothing here to suggest that he has gotten to that point yet.
So this operation here doesn't necessarily have to do with the elements of like magical drugs that he seems to have been using to
You get a sense
control
that
them?
these magical drugs really a control element. This was a way to get. You saw people within that rec room coming down from this nightclub. A lot of the sludges probably started that way,
right,
and this was Bastion's way to gain an army.
but independent of the actual mutations from the sludgies.
Those seem to be the correct, though the sludgies have the Gaia's mutagen applied to them. So
Right.
two separate sort of
Right.
enterprises.
So the
that
drugs
help each
don't
other.
have the guy's mutagen in them that the sludgies are then
Correct.
ingesting.
Two
They're
separate
getting
things.
addicted to the drugs and then being susceptible to being controlled to then ingest guy's mutagen.
Yes, you would imagine under the right confluence of drugs,
It would enhance
they would be
it.
willing creatures to that effect.
Gotcha. Okay. I would. These are the ones that we want to keep operable for when Mosaic comes in, right?
Correct.
So I want to disable it in such a way that it's not going to cause any problems if we can't successfully get rid of the dams in time for it to back up and overflow.
With a natural 20, easy for you to do. This is something that it's not complex machinery. They're huge machines, and making a miscalculation would be devastating. Having a gear grind in the wrong way could destroy this entire operation. But you are very proficient in engineering. You make all the right calculations, and you are able to slow this to a crawl. You open up some of the emergency valves in these storage containers so it sublimates away. Staying in any of these buildings would be very poisonous. But for the moment, at least for the next, you would imagine, 20 or so weeks, this will not cause any immediate problems.
Okay. And then before I'm like finished up here, I would just, if there are computer systems, I would want to like scrub those for any evidence and data of what activity was going on to share with Ares.
The only computer system that you would find is a trap. And you will see that it's actually almost kind of a fake computer. It has more of a mystical quality, and you would imagine casting magic back here would have caused some kind of a psionic feedback loop.
Okay.
But no real technology here aside from the very simple machines that are extracting this stuff.
Is that a disableable trap?
Yeah.
Can I like disable it to then take for future use for
Make
us?
a computer trap.
Oh, a magic trap. We fight magic-y people.
36.
And
With
we
a
want
36,
to
you are able to disable the computer part of this. Now make a mysticism check.
Mysticism, not engineering.
No, this is about maintaining the integrity of the psionic feedback loop.
We're too far away.
There are
I'm
those traps on the
elsewhere.
way.
Oh, are you all the way over
Yeah,
there?
I
Oh,
was
you're
on the
still-
loop. You're by yourself, my friend.
I might be magical.
Oh, this is a magical girl.
10,
18.
Bubble
18.
makeup.
Oh my god.
You are able to disable the computer element, and for just a moment, you can see the mystical energy begins to dissipate, and so you seize it and just crush it in your android hands. The mystical art's not really yours. However, there is no negative element to this.
Okay. Well, I tried. So it seems like this area has been neutralized for the intents of Mosaic, and like there's nothing else
Correct.
here that is viable evidence to show. I mean, I have the live feed the whole time.
How
so.
big is the vats he's seeing of
How big are the vats?
mutagen?
Each one probably about 5 gallons, though some of them are a little bit larger at about 10.
Can you grab me a 5-gallon bucket, please, of the mutagen, please?
Yeah, wait, I also want to fill up some of the vials that I have with my needler.
Before we do anything,
Bio
we need to
weapon.
formulate a plan. There's lots of powerful weaponry here.
I know we're waiting to go
Oh, yeah, the
through it
crates.
until you're here.
We don't want to report to anyone until we know exactly what we are dealing with.
I'm not reporting to anyone.
Echo?
Echo is very specifically not taking pictures of the crates.
Okay, no problem.
Are
Oh
they
yeah,
the,
that's not even, that's ours.
The sludge crates or the Gaia?
The Ares crates
Yeah, the
that
Ares
we're gonna
ones.
steal from and be like, whoops, it was lost.
Not just
Wait,
areas.
isn't it
So as the
that?
group of you kind of gather around this, you can see that there is a box that has a trio of grenades in it. This is an Ares box.
Mhm.
There is a flash grenade a flash grenade 3, which is a level 12 item. There is a shot grenade level 4, which is a level 12 item. There is a frag grenade 5, which is a level 14 item. There's another box. This one is a Harbinger Robotics box, and in this there is an item called an Infiltration Assistant. This is a armor upgrade, I believe. Give me 1 second here. But in this box from Harbinger Robotics, this is a magical and psychic projector, and this is something that you imagine could create a very quick 3D image of a space, and could likely even do so through elements of like cover and things like that. But very, very cool. And in a box, probably pretty cutting edge. There is a small crate, only about the size of like a bread box, that has 2 serums of healing, Mark 3.
Ooh.
Gibbs, you notice this kaleidoscopic stone.
Yes.
And you have actually seen something like this within the markets of the Hollow Husk. This is an Aeon Stone.
Oh.
Not just any Aeon Stone. This is a kaleidoscopic isohedron. It is a level 12 magical item. You see a tiny little velvet box, like the kind that would keep a ring in.
Mhm.
And this, when you open it up, there is a serum in it. Just a single serum, but it is in a perfect, clear, faceted crystal vial
Mhm.
with a stopper of gold.
Whoa.
And on it, in fancy cursive, it reads, Serum of Enhancement, parentheses, Diplomat.
What?
You see next to that an adaptive serum, Mark 3. I would say one of you would note that there is almost like a utility belt, which is relatively mundane. Save a pair of gloves that are attached with this little elements of like microcircuitry. These are holding gloves, Mark 1, which have a couple cool properties
What's
to
the
them.
spell in them?
There's no spell currently in them. They're empty.
Okay.
Gibbs, you note a little wax case.
Yeah.
It looks like it is made out of wood, but when you touch it, your paws kind of sink into it a little bit. And opening it up, this is a case of fusion seals. There are 2 of them within. One is a fusion seal that is corrosive. The other is a fusion seal that is astute. And then there are the other Ares boxes. In a smaller one, you open it up. And for those of you who see this, when you open it, this knife makes your eyes distort because this is a mirage dagger. Not just a simple mirage dagger, this is a hallucination mirage dagger, level 13. In a large box that is cold to the touch, there is an ice carbine within, ultra cold, level 13. There is a pair of laser rifles, Perihelion, which is level 13. And then finally, in the last of these crates, as you open it, Bubbles, you can see that there is a battle glove, a Nova battle glove, that crackles with this energy. And all kinds of things within this element. Now, one thing I will say, Mosaic Team 5, you do know, having a nuclear missile directly in front of you, you have been promised a reward from Ares. And getting this reward, you imagine these items will probably be even better than what you see in front of you.
Or we could take the nuke.
Or we could take them both.
Or you could take the nuke.
What? Why would we take a nuke?
So we could launch it
into space.
Which of
I'm
those?
down. Let's
Is that
launch
all
it at
Ares stuff, or is
Waystation Alpha.
No, it's a
Ares?
mixture of different things. The weapons are all Ares and the grenades are Ares.
We can launch it at
is
the
the
home
magical
base.
stuff that Gibbs was looking at, is that Ares?
No.
Cool. Ares doesn't give a shit about stuff that's not theirs.
I feel like also if we don't show them evidence of that stuff being here, but we get the nuke, they're still going to be fine with that.
The Ares stuff Echo is a little bit more concerned about, but could also maybe fence it off.
We
The
can
Amstone's
offline
dope.
I'm just saying,
But the non-Ares stuff, for sure taking that.
if we use the
We can
nuke
offline
as a worst case scenario, if the director portrays us, we can just launch a nuke at Helsinki.
Yeah.
Solves the problem. Then we have to blow up the moon. Second, easy peasy.
And we're gonna get the nuke
Just gonna launch a
how
nuke at
from
Earth.
elsewhere.
That's my go-to plan. If the director portrays us, we have to blow up Helsinki, the whole city.
What was the second to last item before the battle gloves, please?
The second to last item before the battle gloves was a pair of laser rifles that are both Perihelion laser
These are
rifles.
rifles, not pistols.
Rifles.
Before we jump into the topic, because I do want to talk about what we're planning on doing with the nuke and stuff.
Sure.
You mentioned that he had some belongings over here. Can I find any personal affects of Bastion?
So within the elements of like this is probably personal belongings.
Yeah.
Bastion doesn't have a lot of personal elements.
Anything
just
like
a
a
puppet.
Hakasini Hana thing that I could probably give to Pronto?
You had
Bastion
already
is just
found
less
the ponchos. You had found
I
like
didn't
little
pick it up.
elements here and there, but not a lot. No.
I should have picked it up. Oh well.
Isn't Pronto dead?
Yeah, he killed him.
Yeah,
Bastion said he killed him.
Killed Dang and
No, he
Loco.
said
Sacrificed.
he said there's sacrifices to be made. He didn't kill them.
No.
He
What?
He said a necessary sacrifice.
Very unclear.
I think that Pronto was the test guinea pig for some of this shit.
Right. And
but
Dang.
Pronto didn't leave with him when he left Auror's Bay.
Either way.
So Mosaic Team 5, you have a nuke directly in front of you. You have a number of stolen goods as well. Are you contacting Ares?
No,
What?
we're not contacting Ares yet because we need this area for Mosaic. So if we get Ares to come in here and get all their nuke stuff, they're going to be like, oh, look, here's a facility that we can
Is
now
that a nuke,
take
a physical
over.
thing we could just take back?
No, it's
No,
not.
it's a
huge.
fucking giant-ass missile.
But-
It's
I don't know
50
what
feet
it
Here's
tall.
the problem with not calling Ares. It means we have to stand here and be the people who are guarding the
No,
shit.
no, it doesn't. We just need some time to contact our boss, the ship, and say, hey, we've got this secure, but we also need to contact Ares about this nuke that's here. what would you suggest we do to make sure that this area stays operable for your purposes?
Babs.
What is Babs?
Well,
That's
if I
the
might
lady.
make a suggestion, they did steal a convoy. They had to get it down here. They had a caster. Can you use your spells to get it back up?
We do not need to.
I can only move it 500 feet.
If we move it, then we could move it away from this facility.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that idea.
Hold on, let me make sure. Let me read it.
500 feet. You can move it. So technically, you could move it into the rec hall. There's the space that climbs up that little thing. It's technically wide enough to accommodate it. It
Well,
would be jammed in there.
Joe, you had mentioned that we are 120 feet down.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
the
it would fit
range?
easily.
So if we just move it
Into the earth?
diagonally,
It depends on the
Yeah.
method that you're using, but yeah,
Yeah.
magic.
Hold on. Wait, the
like
magic.
it.
you want to stick a nuke into the steel
Specifies-
jungle? Yeah, absolutely, you could.
Don't.
It's people.
Oh,
we
damn.
just oh, it's only people.
I mean,
What is yours, Spice? Is yours only people?
Is it
Just
you?
times edge it.
Yeah.
It's people and
I
objects.
feel like
Well, that's what we're looking
Shade
for is
would wanna get,
objects.
like
We can't
a
even
much
think
better
about it.
idea
Yeah, but
of
we can
what's
sleep here.
actually
We can
going
sleep
on
here, yeah.
down here before
Wait, look
making
it
a
up.
decision on what we're gonna try to do.
Okay.
Because if
So,
we have 500 feet,
I wanna,
and we
like-
could have them clear a space in the compound,
What's your
because
spell?
the
It's just a teleportation
rec
unit.
area
It's for
is
people.
very close to the Ares compound
It doesn't do objects.
geographically.
Teleportation. It's just things you Starfinder.
That's an
I mean,
object.
that's an object you
know.
touch. Pending.
Joe, we might need a ruling because Cara might suggest that we do that.
I like this plan
So-
a lot. I think it's a great plan.
As you consider how you want to deal with this nuke, as it is about to be
Yeah.
10 o'clock, this is a great place for us to end. Over the coming week, you can discuss what you want to do with this nuke, and then when we get back next week, we can make a decision and move forwards. But Mosaic Team 5, you would imagine after vanquishing Bastion, or at least this
The vessel.
vessel of him, when you take a long rest, you will level up.
Nice.
Oh!
Yeah.
Nice.
So thank you for joining us for this session of Starfinder. We will be back next week, as I just said.
This is your
But
spell.
if you cannot wait that long, some good news for you. You can join us tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our original D&D campaign,
It's going
Courts of
swimmingly.
Everest. As the times of turmoil have begun, and Baba Yaga's gaze sweeps across the planet once more. But please, whatever you do, stay safe. It is wild out there. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.